And it was from Brian Nolan who sent this to me. What do these pop songs have in common? John Mellencamp's Jack and Diane, Lou Reed's Take a Walk on the Wild Side, Madonna's Vogue, and David Essex's song Rock On. We will go to Joe, see if we can get the answer. Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning to see you, Joe. All right, what do all those songs have in common?
They all mention James Dean.
You are correct.
Yes, of course.
Now, I do have to ask Joe, did you have to look that up? Did you have to research that, or is that something you figured out on your own?
Miraculously, it just kind of popped into my head.
No kidding.
Well done, sir.
All right, well done, Joe. All right, hang on. We are going to set you up with a pair of tickets to see Aladdin in concert Saturday, July 27th. It's part of the Movies of the Man series. Magical carpet ride awaits as the film comes to life while the Philadelphia Orchestra performs a thrilling score live to picture. And tickets start at $25, and parking is free, and it's on sale now at mancenter.org.
So in Vogue, when she's rattling off those names, that's where that pops up.
Rita Hayward gave good face.
Yeah, and Lou Reed's is thought she was James Dean for a day.
Right, yeah.
John Mellencamp and Jack and Diane. I'd think about that one. And David Essex is Jimmy Dean.
Oh,
James Dean.
The Jack and Diane is sucking on to James Dean.
Outside of James Dean. Doing his best James Dean.
That's it.
Yeah. Sucking on to James Dean.
Okay. Anyway, let's go through the Emmy nominations. Came out yesterday, officially out, and Shogun blasted the competition away with 25 nods. Steve, you love that show.
It really is an impressive show. Believe it or not, I'm at the point where I still have to watch the finale. I have not gotten to it yet. You know, you want to say, okay, I want to make sure this is a perfect situation, and I haven't gotten to it yet. But yet the show is phenomenal.
Speaking of phenomenal shows, it was followed by The Bear with 23 nominations, and then Only Murders in the Building with 21. And amongst those shows, we all watch those shows.
Yes.
I don't watch every single one of them, but amongst the group here, we have all seen them. Sofia Vergara became the first Latina born in a Latin country nominated in the lead actress in a limited series category, though it is her fifth nom overall. Other big firsts include Paul Rudd, Ryan Gosling, Naomi Watts, Divine Joy Randolph, and Hiroyuki Sanada, and more, all getting their first Emmy nominations.
Is Paul Rudd for Only Murders in the Building?
You know what, Steve? I don't know. There's the list is long, I did not go through all of them. It just says that he and I'm going to give you the just the big categories.
Just the tip.
I'm just going to give you the tip, and you're going to have to go deeper on your own.
Finish yourself off.
So they will air live Sunday, September 15th, and the host has yet to be announced. So let me give you the best drama series. Up for that is The Crown, Fallout, The Gilded Age, The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, and Three Body Problem as well. So a bunch of really good shows there. Best actress in a drama series. So here, I'm just giving you the best actor and best actress in drama, and then we'll do the same thing in comedy.
There we go.
So Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show, Carrie Coon for The Gilded Age, Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Interesting little thing about her. Her father is Peter Erskine, one of the all-time great jazz drummers. I thought that was really neat. Anna Sawai for Shogun, Imelda Staunton for The Crown, and Reese Witherspoon for The Morning Show.
All right.
All right. Best actor in a drama series, Idris Elba for Hijack, Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Walton Goggins for Fallout.
Wow.
My God, is he great on that show.
I haven't seen a couple of the other nominees, but man, I love that show.
Gary Oldman for Slow Horses.
Yeah.
Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun.
Excellent.
And Dominic West for The Crown. Oh, Dominic West, he plays the king, well, who is now King Charles.
Yeah.
He's great in that role.
He really is.
Then we have Best Comedy Series. Up for that category, Abbott Elementary.
Well deserved.
We just had Lisa Ann Walter in here yesterday from the show.
Yeah, played back the interview.
The Bear.
So here,
I think it's a drama.
Thank you.
With comedic elements.
There we go.
But
there we go. You'd be and I love this show. I think it was the best show of 2023, and this season, I wrapped it up. It is phenomenal.
Yep.
But it is very, very deep, very emotional, very dramatic. It is far more appropriate to call it a drama with comedic flares.
Yeah, they have these moments though, and like I have this really funny exchange that happened with John Cena. It was this one here.
I did. No. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're being a bitch.
So
I'm not. Deal.
So percentage-wise, Case,
Yeah.
how much of that? Did you want to play the whole bit?
No.
Okay. The percentage-wise, how much of the show is that as opposed to, especially this season, of drama?
I don't know. But like, how much comedy, percentage-wise, does it need to be in order for it to be a comedy? Do you know what I mean?
They get to choose. I mean, they get to choose what they enter it as, and then the Academy, they have to accept it. But, Steve, I'd say 10% comedy.
Yeah.
I'd say 10% comedy and 90% drama on that show.
There are some episodes where I don't even crack a smile because they're so tense and stressful. So I don't find it at all to be a comedy.
Yeah.
There are funny moments in it. But Steve, Hacks is a comedy with some drama.
Right.
So this is a drama with a little bit of comedy.
Speaking of that, Hacks is in the comedy series, and up for that as well as Curb Your Enthusiasm, Only Murders in the Building, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, and What We Do in the Shadows.
And our friend Caitlin Olsen got nominated for Hacks.
Excellent.
Yeah, so Best Actor in a Comedy Series include Matt Berry, What We Do in the Shadows, Larry David for Curb Your Enthusiasm, Steve Martin for Only Murders in the Building, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, and DeFaro Woon Atai for Reservation Dogs. And then in the Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Ayo Edebiri for The Bear, Selena Gomez for Only Murders in the Buildings, Maya Rudolph for Loot, Jean Smart for Hacks, and Kristen Wiig for Palm Royale. So I assume Caitlin was in the supporting actress category. So
she had a great episode on Hacks this season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, terrific, where she delivers a roast to Jean Smart, her mother, and she coins a very profane phrase.
Oh, yes. They're coming out on September 15th and just announced yesterday, so good luck to everyone. I have some other stories I'm going to mention. Ahead of the July 26th release date of Deadpool, rapidly approaching, and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds had dished to the New York Times about how when they filmed the first Deadpool movie in 2016, he used his salary to pay his writers to be on set with him, which the movie studio had refused to do. He also revealed that he didn't think Deadpool would be a hit. He said, "No part of me was thinking when Deadpool was finally greenlit that this would be a success." He said, at its release, Deadpool was the number one movie at the box office during the opening weekend. It made over $132 million. The movie's total gross is over $363 million, he said. So I guess we can say it was pretty successful. Its 2018 sequel and now the hype for its upcoming spinoff, Deadpool and Wolverine, have proven that Reynolds' sacrifices were certainly worth it. He also says that he recently watched a cut of the R-rated Deadpool and Wolverine with his 9-year-old daughter. And he said, well, I'm not saying that other people should do this, but my 9-year-old watched the movie with me and my mom, who was in her late 70s, and it was just one of the best moments of this whole experience for me.
I remember when it came out and Ben was 9 at the same time. I was like, this is the one Marvel movie you can't watch yet, buddy. He was 9 for this, like pegging scenes and
Dude,
stuff.
the International Women's Day scene was the only one that I'm like, that whole montage, that whole sex montage was the only thing that I felt a little bit, I'm like, man, this is going to be weird.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, but nonetheless, still excellent. He said both of them were laughing their guts out, feeling the emotion where I most desperately hoped people would be. So,
cannot wait.
Next week.
Cannot wait.
Yep, it's exciting stuff. So it's not the height of the pandemic, but COVID still has a way of wreaking havoc. Kerry Washington was forced to miss out on the red carpet event for the season 2 premiere of her show Unprisoned Tuesday night after testing positive for the virus. She wrote on Instagram, "So I have COVID and I won't be able to make it to the season 2 premiere tonight in New York City. Not sure what's worse right now, being sick with COVID or being sick with FOMO." The show premiered on Hulu last night.
The president has it. They just diagnosed last night.
That is correct, yes. You just had it.
I did, yeah. I mean, and I talked to our doctor, and I was one of 4 or 5 that day of people who came in with COVID. So there's definitely a resurgence lately.
Yep. Fred Armisen and Ricky Lindholm are married, but it happened 2 years ago.
Oh.
The news is just coming out now. Yes, it's not the only unusual thing about the couple's relationship. They have been raising a son, 2-year-old Keaton, since his March 2022 arrival via surrogate. Lindholm was already expecting the little one via a donated sperm and egg when she and Armisen started their relationship. The longtime friends began dating while both were filming Wednesday, and within 3 months, there was a son and a wedding. And he said she said, this was just for us. We didn't really tell people. We didn't announce it or anything, and we thought people would hear about it eventually.
Dude, way to keep it a secret.
And that's what happened, one friend at a time. Yeah, it blows me away.
Yeah.
That some of these people can hide
do it
for a long time.
A long time. So
they got married.
Is he working on the Uncle Fester spinoff?
I don't know. I think
that was the word.
I think they're concentrating on Wednesday, I guess, but the second one. But yeah, the idea was to do
Uncle
a
Fester
spinoff. Yeah. So she's in Garfunkel and Oates, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah.
Really very funny and very, very beautiful.
She's quite a lovely guy.
Lovely's the word.
Lovely is a lovely woman.
Lovely is a lovely word.
Absolutely, Preston.
Can I say Presbo?
You can say Presbo.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Joe Manganiello is hitting back at some comments from ex Sofia Vergara about the end of their marriage. She had previously stated that Joe wanted to have kids, and I didn't. I didn't want to be an old mom. That was back in January, and Joe says that's just not true.
Liar!
He said we did try. You
Liar,
whore.
liar, whore, you know it.
I've not heard that one in a while.
I got you.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
He said we did try to have a family for the first year and a half, and we had a huge conversation right out of the gate during the first month we dated. I said, if you're done with kids, then I understand. And I swore to her that I would never leave if it didn't work out, and I didn't, he shared with Men's Journal.
None of that makes sense.
But why do they call it quits? He said it's just because two people grew apart, and sometimes that happens. And that is true.
I think what happened is that the Zack Snyder universe fell apart, and that's what she was really in the marriage for.
Oh, my God.
She wanted to be married to Deathstroke.
Okay. So this is terrible news. Former Top Chef Masters contestant Naomi Pomeroy died in a tubing mishap in Oregon.
I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, the Benton County Sheriff's Office announced that Pomeroy drowned in the Willamette River on Saturday. She and 2 other adults, including her husband, were floating downriver on 2 tubes and a paddleboard all tied together. Their equipment got tangled on an exposed, they said, snag in the water.
Oh, man.
And it dragged her underwater and ultimately led to her drowning. That's terrible. The search now is on for her body. So they haven't found her, I guess.
One thing, if you ever go kayaking and you're on a river, it's moving along at a moderately decent clip, the force of the water, if you go under and get caught under something,
That's the thing.
It's almost impossible to free yourself.
Yeah, so she was only 49 years old. That's
It's horrible.
Yeah. Here's a lighter story involving Food Network in California. The man convicted of a 2012 drive-by shooting and stealing celebrity chef Guy Fieri's Lamborghini could soon be out of prison on parole. A state parole board granted Max Wade's release on good behavior and after he was assessed as a moderate to low risk. We spoke to Guy shortly after his car was stolen.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was a while back. Wade was granted parole despite strong objections from the district attorney's office. He was originally sentenced to 21 years to life in prison.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, for attempted murder of a romantic rival and for grand theft. But that sentence was reduced, making him eligible for parole this year. The board's decision is subject to review for up to 120 days. Wade was 16 years old when he rappelled into a San Francisco dealership and stole the celebrity chef's Lamborghini.
It's crazy.
But a year later, this is when he really got in trouble. He was finally caught when he pulled off a drive-by shooting in Mill Valley, trying to scare off the teen who was the teen who was dating a girl he liked.
Man.
Wow. All right, lighter news. The Russo brothers, who directed Marvel movies like Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and multiple Avenger movies, might be coming back to direct more Avengers movies.
Nice.
The directors had previously stepped away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe after they closed out the Infinity Saga with Infinity War and Endgame. That didn't come as a huge surprise considering how much work those massive movies took. But word is that talks for the brothers to direct new Avengers movies are still in early days, and Marvel hasn't publicly commented on the news. But there's some rumors going on. The last thing they did was Avengers Endgame, and did pretty well at $2.8 billion at the global box office in 2019. I told you guys it started to resurface the whole Avengers trilogy. Like a couple of weeks ago, they just started running them on cable channels on the weekends, and I've fallen back in love with it. I'm on board.
Now it has a nostalgic element to it. It was so as those films were rolling out over a decade plus.
Yeah,
and there was this thing you were a part of that had this forward momentum. So I love it.
So
I would
good.
love to get back to that.
Yeah. All right, and then one last story, and we'll get to the clips. The lineup for next season's HGTV's Celebrity IOU has been announced. The show sees celebs take part in surprise home renovations to express gratitude to people who have deeply impacted their lives, along with the host, the Property Brothers.
Are they still going ahead with the DVD version?
I don't know about that, but it is a pretty fun show. One half of the Property Brothers, Drew Scott, hyped up the season, sharing that celebs are always willing to get in there and do things that they've never done before. They also admitted that celebrities, quote, come up with solutions that we wouldn't necessarily think of because they know what that person needs so well. So this season will feature Jennifer Jason Leigh, Mandy Moore, Mira Sorvino, Wanda Sykes, Zach Braff, Tony Hawk, and Danny Trejo.
Pretty cool.
That's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah.
Listen, they have. I mean, they had like Brad Pitt and they had Viola Davis. And, they get big name celebrities.
And so they gift friends with refurbs. Yeah,
I think that's really cool. But like whenever you watch HGTV, they always run into budget concerns.
I hate that crap.
And this one, you're like you're dealing with like multi-millionaires. It's like okay,
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you need
$2,000.
It's getting tight. It's like that old hackneyed thing they would do during Extreme Makeover. Like, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Hate to give these super poor people half a built house.
And then all of a sudden, the entire community started marching down the street to save the day.
Well, we couldn't let these wonderful folks not have a home to live in.
Yep. The show is set to premiere on August 12th, by the way. All right, clips. Start with this. For many actors, characters aren't just an opportunity to play someone vastly different from themselves, but also a chance for self-improvement. Here, Evil star Mike Coulter shares the takeaways from this character.
I think sometimes we say we want something and then we say what we'll give up to get it. And we say this stuff, it's all lip service because as soon as we get it, we're like, I'm good. But honestly, I think people like David teach me in some ways to be committed to something in a path and just walk that path and sort of kind of stay on it.
A new episode of Evil airs today, and that's on Paramount Plus.
I think this is if not the second to the last episode of the season. Evil is now available on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to check out the series if you liked X-Files or you like horror, you like supernatural stuff. It's wonderful.
All right. Excellent. Next clip. Cobra Kai is back after a multi-level cliffhanger finale. And here, Johnny Lawrence himself, William Zabka, comments on cast's dedication to pulling off so many stunt sequences.
I mean, the level of physicality that this entire cast had to pull off in this short amount of time was insane. And none of these guys are we all started out not as martial artists. You read it on the page and say, holy crap, how's that going to happen? And then it just challenged everybody to just rise to the occasion and actually doing it.
Preston, did you see the video of Billy Zabka and Ralph Macchio watching scenes from Karate Kid?
No.
It's great.
I got to see it.
It's really well done. It's them, it's a movie that's 40 years old at this point, and they just talk about how these characters really have lived with them for their entire lives.
It's amazing.
They got a little resentful for a bit, and then they re-embraced it, and it's so genuine, and I think that's a huge part of the charm of the show is that these guys have been these characters for 40 years.
So earlier this year, I read Ralph Macchio's book, which is all about Karate Kid, and that's all that he dives into in his career and the character of Daniel LaRusso and all this stuff. And he just he loves it. It's been like you said, he resented it for a little while, and then it came back, and then it's been this wonderful gift over the past several years with Cobra Kai. And he also talks about because he's referencing them not being martial artists in this clip here. He's like, my God, was it hard to get back and to be able to do this. But he said, flexibility is everything. He's like, whatever you do as you're aging, stretch because it's what you need. But I would imagine, not only from a working standpoint and making money, physically, this show has got to be great for them. It whips them into shape.
Well, Billy Zabka was always in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
So he was always that guy. And I think he has a little bit of martial arts training. But yeah, it's hilarious.
Steve, they referenced the crane kick at the end of the original Karate Kid movie, and Zabka just goes, how is this move legal?
Yeah, right. Yep. The first 5 episodes of Cobra Kai Season 6 are available today on Netflix. And that is what we have in the entertainment report for you this morning. We will take a break, but don't worry. We got lots to get to today, including Hershey Park secret text trivia question. That is engaged right now. All you have to do is text word Hershey Park to 39333. We're going to send you a trivia question. Later on this morning, we will ask you to call in with the answer to that trivia question, and you could win yourself a 4-pack of tickets to Hershey Park. We'll take a break. We got guests and other things to tell you about as well. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 W.
But maybe even people.
It's a good thing.
Yes. People who are maybe in the same situation as you, viewing it as a job. The fact that you don't view it as you view it the way you do.
It's not easy, but it's not like a job. It's like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is think of, the new day and what kind of new rhythms there are in it and how I can interpret that. That's what musicians do. They interpret, society and whatever, you've seen or whatever it is, and they lay down that groove. And every 5-10 years you find a new groove, and you work at it. Yeah, you do work at it, but you work at play. You work to play.
Sure.
You have to keep your skill up. I play every day 2-3 hours.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Absolutely. In order to get up there and do what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an athletic event. It's not like lounge drumming and stuff. This is the power stuff.
Well, speaking of reinventing and finding new grooves, I want to ask you about John Mayer, because he's been with the band and touring with you guys for a stretch now. And I think a lot of people initially dismissed him as poppy and not the really great, incredible guitarist that he is. And from my perspective, he seems like the perfect fit for the Dead, because he holds you guys in reverence, but he can also hold his own. What are your impressions on John?
John's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, as it were. And his guitar, he's beautiful. He plays great. He fits perfectly in the band, and he's a nice guy. I mean, I know he has this reputation and all that stuff, but I've never had a moment of weirdness with him. He's just a very pleasant person to be around, and he plays his ass off.
Before he was a star, he played in the conference room down the hall in these offices. And I went to see his show that night, and one of his strings broke during the performance. He tuned the guitar to itself and he didn't miss a beat. And right then, I knew this guy had it, and I was so impressed by his ability.
I'll tell you when I knew he had it was one day when he was just joined the band, and I had gotten him into this droning things, feeding back, getting a little crazy. And so during the drums and bass part, he got down on his knee and he put the guitar into the speaker and he started feeding back. And I was looking at him and I was saying, oh, okay. So I walked around to the front of the speakers, sat down right next to him, and I had on one hand I had what do you call it, lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And the other hand I had a Bic.
Okay.
And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went like that. And for a minute, I thought he was
going to do it.
And then so he took it. He did take it while he was feeding back, and he put he put the Bic on his amplifier, and he took the lighter fluid and used it as a slide. And so he played slides without lighter fluid.
Full Hendrix on
and I said, John, you were going to do it, weren't you? And he said, I was really thinking about it, but the guy who makes my guitar is in the audience. I couldn't do it. He almost lit his guitar on fire, so I knew right then he was okay.
Wow.
I was wondering if you had watched the Grateful Dead documentary that was on Amazon and what your thoughts are. No?
No.
It was very in depth.
Oh God, it was just awful. I just did not like it.
You didn't care for it.
It was just a one-sided affair. It was not for me, and it really didn't show the Grateful Dead in its totality. It was more like a Jerry, you know, whatever that is, memorial thing or whatever. He was trying to do, but it wasn't really. It didn't have the heart of the Grateful Dead. That's for sure.
There's been a lot done about it.
They made me watch. Oh, I watched it once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to say I didn't like it. But that's it. I didn't see it at the premiere. Me and Bob and Bill, we went out and had dinner.
Yeah.
While they showed the movie.
That's funny.
We came back right at the end when they all started. And we go, okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about some of the things that you do like. I was listening to the concert in Paris, 1974, this morning.
Yeah.
What was it besides the United States? What was your favorite country to play in?
Oh, Jesus, that's a good question. I think that I can't answer that question because they're all good when you play good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every country is the same.
Yeah.
If the music is played well and we have a great time, France is great, England's great, Germany, it's all good if we play well. If we don't play well, the city sucks.
It's this place.
We blame it on the city.
Blame it on the city.
Of course. Franklin Port.
I also, as a fan, there's an ebb and flow to the way I listen to your music, and so recently I flowed back to. I guess I ebbed back to. I ebbed back to studio albums. Do you? I don't know if you ever listen to your own music.
No.
But do you have a favorite studio album?
Yeah, I would have to say it would be, it was half studio and half live. It was called Anthem of the Sun. I think it was our second record, back in 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was probably my favorite. American Beauty, Working Man's Dead. They were nice, fuzzy, warm.
See, my first album I ever bought was Mars Hotel, so I automatically go back to that one. And Unbroken Chain. And
we were never very good in the studio. We never could cage the animal in the studio.
When did you realize that? It seemed to be early on.
Yeah, well, we thought we could make. No one knew how to make a record. But I mean, we didn't know how to make anything. We were just musicians at the time, and we weren't really savvy on the studio. No one had a studio.
Right
now, I have a studio. Everybody has a studio, so we just weren't producible. There was too much anarchy. In the band. Too many people wanting to do. They had strong opinions of it. So, and we never really liked it in the studio with the four walls. It was too captivating. We were like a captive in the studio. And we never really made a great record.
You guys had a pop explosion in the late 80s when you hit with Touch of Grey and Hell in a Bucket, In the Dark. Was that fun? Was that cool? Was it neat seeing a whole bunch of people who maybe had not been turned on? You always had legions of loyal fans, but here all of a sudden, boom, you had fresh music. And the tour was gigantic. Was it fun?
Oh, yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't quite like that. What happened was we were already playing stadiums at the time. That was in 87.
Yeah.
So instead of playing 1 or 2 days at the stadium, we were playing 3 days at the stadium.
Yeah.
So it really didn't affect us much. We just
You guys were touring sold-out shows anyway.
We didn't feel it, which we were playing stadiums.
Yeah, but you know what? I found out about you guys because of the Touch of Grey. There was a music video. I was young at the time, so so you guys had a music video, so you were totally reaching an audience. That,
we never did the videos or anything. We never did a single. So we weren't really part of the music industry. We never played that game. And if we lived by the single, we would die by the single. If we didn't have a hit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember becoming aware of the Grateful Dead, through the iconic artwork that was associated with the band.
Yep.
What's that about? What's that about? So that predates, obviously, videos, but still, a visual medium brought me into the awareness of the music, which is very cool.
Exactly. It mirrored the music. In the old days, how that started was these artists would come to the shows, and we were all getting high, and psychoactive drugs, taking acid and whatever. And these were physical representations of what the music sounded like. they would go home and they would start painting, and they're still high, and that's what these things were representing. They were representing the music.
How were you vetting that, or was it just sort of, if you want to do it, or would you guys kind of consciously say, I don't like that, doesn't represent our band right, or was it just an open source?
Well, luckily in our case, the people would come up with these incredible,
iconic stuff.
Yeah. We just had to choose between the good stuff. I mean, it was so much good
great.
around. A lot of people went home and just did it, and it was uncommissioned.
Yeah.
They just went out and said, this has to be done.
Wow.
And so then all of a sudden we looked at them and we go, that's us. And they go, okay, cool.
That's cool.
That's it.
Let me ask you, with the art and your painting, I mean, did people automatically take to it? Were you afraid you were going to get here's a musician trying to be a painter sort of deal?
I'm not afraid.
Yeah. So what was that jump like, and how well were you received initially? Because I mean, honestly, we were looking at the stuff. It's pretty amazing looking.
There it is.
Yeah. So what was that initially like?
Well, I didn't think of it as it's art. You know,
it is
came
art.
out. It's
right.
You follow the muse. I mean, you're an artist. You know, the thing that turns you on, makes you do things artistically. And first time I did it, I walked into the house and my daughter looked at it and she said, "You know, Dad, this got legs."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Legs. He liked it.
Yeah.
And so if my daughter liked it, and she doesn't like much.
Does she like the Dead? Does she like
that?
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll paint. If you like it, I'll paint it.
You can take a look for yourself and see Mickey Hart's work. It's called Vibrational Expressionism, The Art of Mickey Hart. And Sunday, back out this way, King of Prussia, noon to 2. Is there a spot where we can go to get all this information, a website or anything, you guys?
I just want to meet the King of Prussia.
Yes, we all do.
And I want to see Mrs. Prussia.
Sure.
Mr. Prussia.
As the kid, Kevin Sullivan, 14 years old, was now the youngest player to ever play in Major League Soccer.
Some people get the nickname, right? But he is a kid.
Literally a kid, 14 years old. He's right on the edge of 15.
Yeah.
But still, he's amongst grown men, very big, athletic grown men. And he's a big kid, obviously.
Yeah, he
wouldn't
is
be
like
out there
14,
if he physically wasn't able to handle it. But he is, how much money is he going to make?
A lot. I mean, he got the largest contract in Major League Soccer history.
So how much money are we talking?
I don't know, actually. But
hundreds of millions, right?
Well,
wouldn't it be?
Some of it's contingent on what he ends up making when he transfers to the Premier League. So Major League Soccer contracts are weird in that they're sometimes international.
And they're predicated on these variables, correct? But
one of the variables is him not playing in Major League Soccer. It's playing overseas. But eventually, the dude's going to make a lot of money. It's also interesting to me that his older brother's on the team.
Yes.
Yeah. Is he from the area?
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy, man.
Okay, he says signed a record-breaking homegrown player deal where this is $500,000 per season. It's not crazy.
Well, I mean, it's not, the gigantic salaries that we're used to hearing.
Well, I mean, listen, he hasn't proven himself yet, right? He's only proven himself that he's capable and worthy of running up and down the pitch with the rest of these guys, right? So these next few years is going to actually dictate his actual worth to the sport.
Right. And then,
and if he's already kind of like, he's basically in the minor leagues for the Premier League right now, playing for Man City.
Right.
I mean, I think that there are really positive things that are on the horizon.
Oh my
for this
God!
young
No,
guy.
I'm just saying,
God,
when I hear the term largest contract ever, my
Right.
mind automatically goes to $250 million.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
So that's why I was thinking that. And obviously, he's got he's a kid. He's 14 years old, but crazy.
14?
Marissa had brought up an interesting scenario that aligns with his and wanted to see if there was anybody that could contribute to this. Have you ever been the kid amongst adults?
Yeah.
In whatever group that may be, where you are clearly the youngest person and maybe way out of touch as far as, now obviously this kid's right in the thick of it when it comes to the sport, but when it comes to life, the people that he is surrounded by are on a slightly different level.
Well, you see this in the construction industry a little bit when you have a family-owned business. and then they bring the kids.
They bring a kid in. They bring the kid in.
13,
Yeah.
14-year-old kid. To,
Right. Happens all the time. You're right.
Yeah. And it's, listen, man, when you have these kids, it's like, and you're around all these adults at a construction site, it's like.
Well, do they and do they get the standard rookie treatment? You know what I mean? Because the rookie treatment is you get victimized.
Go go get coffee.
Pay your dues.
You got to pay your dues, and some people take quite a bit of liberty with that.
Dance for me.
Yeah, stuff like that. But if you've been the kid, 215-263 WMMR, and it can be in a work situation too, where you're clearly way younger than everybody else. And who knows? Maybe you fit right in. I don't know.
I also wonder if anyone is listening who is at a young age displayed, like 11, 12 years old, like concert pianist or was like
a prodigy.
Right. A prodigy.
Right.
Because, I don't know if he qualifies as a prodigy, but he's clearly damn good.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree that that when you're talking about like younger years, like years like in older years, like the difference between, I don't know, like 56 and 58 isn't that big of a deal.
No.
But at a younger age, like the difference between 16 and 18 is quite a bit.
You're in a highly formative part of your life, and you're taking quantum leaps ahead. Yeah, and you're right. With the difference between 47 and 57, not all that much.
Here's Casey, by the way, this person texts in and says his father is Mr. Sullivan, the English teacher at St. Joe's Prep.
Oh. Yeah, the whole family
Which
has
is where
ties.
your son goes to school.
Did I know this?
I don't know.
The whole family, the Sullivan family, has ties to the Prep case.
Okay.
Did I know this?
By the way, here's a fun text.
What's going on?
I'm going to get a text from my wife saying, yeah, I told you about this last week.
While you think about that, this is from somebody, I guess, who was an intern of ours. They texted us, says, me and the interns on our first day at the Preston and Steve show years ago, hoping I don't disappoint the city of Philadelphia and take you off the air. So that was them amongst an older group. I guess our interns are kind of like that.
Yeah, stop and think about it,
Yeah, they're and it didn't really hit us until recently when one of our interns brought in their mom and she was younger than us.
Well, they must. We assume they all look at us as super cool older brothers and sisters.
Well, these were like legit concerns of mine when my daughters were entering into the workforce, right?
Right.
Because you see this happen you see this happen. I don't say quite often, but like where a high school kid will go into a work environment that like either college kids or even older than college kids, and now you're working together, and that line sort of gets blurred where now you start to hang out with people socially after work. And I was like, and I'm like, I don't want this to happen. Like, I don't want my 17-year-old to end up marrying some dude who's 23. You know what I mean? Like, and why is a 23-year-old dating a 17-year-old?
62, but love is love.
When I was 16, Casey, one of my first jobs, I worked at a pretty large restaurant. I was a dishwasher, big kitchen, lot of staff there, and would work till close. And at the end of the night, the staff would get beers and go out in the parking lot. There was an area that was hidden off and nobody could, it was behind the restaurant. And we'd sit out there and drink a few beers and hang out. Well, I was invited. I was 16.
And
16. I was invited to come back and have beers. And guys, I got drunk.
Yeah.
How old were these people?
They were in their 20s, probably. Maybe one of the managers was probably 30 or something like that. Giving beers to a 16-year-old. I'm glad you brought that up because I had forgotten about that work environment of me being the kid
and that
hanging out amongst the adults.
Scarier with younger, with women. With young girls and stuff like that.
But in hindsight now,
but you're like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with these guys. Like, I'm cool.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Sure.
What are those, Madge? Are those liver spots?
But in hindsight now, I'm like, oh my God, that was so wrong. For them and me, it was just so wrong.
Hey, kid. Snort this.
Okay.
But we would sit back there and I would be drinking the beer. I didn't even like the way it tasted.
Oh, God.
But were if you put yourself back in that mindset, did you have the need to impress and hang? Was it cool for you to hang out with older people?
It was extremely cool.
Yeah.
But I did not have much to contribute. They would do all the talking and I was just observing and drinking.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Because there's no way I could join in and offer anything to the conversation that would have made... It would have been part of the conversation.
Anthony Michael Hall in Weird Science. When he's sitting around, when they're at that jazz club.
Oh, yeah. Man, let me tell you a story. Let me go to some calls. I have, let's see. Let's go to Joe. Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Not much. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Awesome.
What's your story?
Joe, you going to tell us why you called in?
Yes, sir. So I work in a warehouse right now currently, and I am quite young comparatively to everyone else.
Okay.
Everyone else is about in their 50s, and I'm 23.
Okay, so you're about half their age, and what is the dynamic like? Do they treat you? Do they treat you like the kid?
Absolutely, yes.
How so?
I get treated like I am one of their children. It's horrible.
Wow. That sucks. And this is where
I work the forklift, and I am pretty much expected to do everything. I load a lot of truck drivers. And
Joe, let me ask you a quick question. Are you actually working the forklift, or is it a Fisher-Price device that looks like the forklift controls?
No, this one is a real deal forklift.
Okay, all right.
And you're definitely the youngest one, and it's weird, right? Do you hate it?
There are certain days where I do hate it, but most days I think it's pretty funny because anytime that they talk any real smack, I can just look at them and remember that I'll probably outlive them.
It's always good to keep that in the back of your mind. They're going to die much sooner.
Thank you, Joe.
You're closer to death. Do you guys? Do you think this happens in the military a lot? Because I mean, you can join, you can enlist at 18, and when you're 18, you're still really a kid. I mean, I know you're an adult.
I'm gonna think it's a different story there because, especially in recruit training, they're used to seeing turning young people over regularly. So I don't know, Nick.
I'm
That's
just curious,
a good question.
and then you're a veteran at 25 or 26. If you've been around for a while, it's just I wonder if it's a different dynamic.
The dynamic that can occur a lot of times too is if you get into a line of work or there's somebody significantly younger than you who is your superior.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's got to be awkward.
Right.
I will go to Ed next. Hi, Ed. Good morning.
Good morning, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks, buddy. All right, Ed. So you were the youngin' amongst a group of older people?
Yeah, I was in a bowling league with my aunt when I was in high school. So
I was
14, 15.
I was wondering if someone would call in with a bowling story because bowling is typically seen as like an older person's hobby. It not necessarily is, but sometimes it's seen that way. So you were like 13 years old?
13, 14. I did it for a few years going into high school and probably into my sophomore year. And I was with a bunch of 50 to 60-year-olds.
Were you good? Were you like a ringer?
I was actually not bad. My highest game was a 220.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty damn good.
Well, let me ask, hanging out with those, did you get any insight? Do you know what I mean?
I got a lot of life lessons, I can tell you that. We did Phillies trips to a Phillies game every year. Generally, when they played the Mets, we'd go down to Philly Stadium, so I would see all the ruckus that would come with that. I've seen them get arrested. They've let me turn for the bus.
I saw them get arrested.
At the Philly Stadium because they were fighting with Mets fans.
Oh, well, there you go. It was justified there.
Listen, because sometimes in these dynamics where you've got the one young person and a group of older people, and they're maybe not your family, they kind of loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
And will, like you said, give you some life lessons, talk around you the way they normally wouldn't talk around a 13-year-old, and maybe impart some quote-unquote wisdom to you.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I learned some things I probably shouldn't have.
Let me ask you, were you handed a beer now and then?
Oh, absolutely.
That's funny.
There you go.
My aunt was there. She would just turn a blind eye. She'd say one, but I'd have everybody else sneaking me 3 or 4.
At 13. That's hilarious.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
When I did the Grand Canyon trip a couple of years ago, not the one last year, it was all adults. We had 2 boats of people. It was like almost 30 of us, and there was one 13-year-old kid. And I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I got to watch my P's and Q's around this 13-year-old kid. I can't talk like a grown-up.
Yeah.
And then that was all thrown out the window.
Right.
Like,
No, you probably made this kid's, trip.
The best was, it was probably like day 6 of the trip. We're all on the boat and we're waiting for this. We always had to wait for this one woman to get on the boat. And the kid, and his name is Casey, by the way, he goes, let's just call the woman Carol. He goes, come on, Carol. We've been waiting for you. Sea sucker breath is what he yells to.
What?
Yes.
How old was he?
13. Now, sea sucker breath was something that another woman had said on the trip, and that became the word.
Right.
The phrase.
So he was just being one of
he
the
was just
guys.
being one of the guys,
Yeah.
and what was funny, it was a woman, this woman from Maine who said it.
That's great.
Yeah, seasicker breath.
I love it. Here's a text. It says, Nick, I enlisted at 17. I was named fetus by my squadron. Okay.
Fetus.
So they do let you have it a little bit. In fact, we have some from the military on the line right now. There's another Ed. Hi, Ed. You're on the air. Good morning, bud.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, so what was your story in the military? How old were you when you joined?
So I was 20,
Okay.
but I was still the youngest in my unit at the time.
So what was the median age of the other guys in your unit?
They were all probably late 20s
Okay.
to honestly like mid 30s.
Wow. Okay.
And so did it feel odd, that age separation?
Yeah, because like I graduated basic, and I had that typical mentality of like, oh, I'm a soldier now, I know everything.
Right.
And then within the first day of getting to my unit, they're like, no, you do not. You don't know anything. Shut up. Go learn something.
Yeah.
And how quickly do you take to that message, or do you resist for a while?
So it's funny, like, at the time, I was like, oh, they're just, being tough on me because I'm the new guy.
Right.
And they're making me do everything. And, they're just giving me a hard time, and it sucks. But now that I'm older now, looking back at it, I realize that they were hard on me because they actually cared.
That's a good perspective. Yeah. Yeah. They wanted you to be safe. They wanted you to be able to do what you were going to do the right way. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard at the time to process that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, at the time, you're like, why am I doing this? Like, they're treating me like crap, just because I'm the new guy. Like, because you got to kind of prove yourself.
Yeah.
A little bit as soon as you get there, to say, hey, you guys can trust me if, stuff starts to go down.
Right.
But then now, like I said, now that I'm still in, coming up on my 10 years now. And looking back, I'm like, nah, I'm actually glad that they were tough on me because that's how I learned a lot.
Now, have you turned that around and have you been tough on other people? Young guys?
Well, considering I'm a drill sergeant now.
That's your life.
Yeah, that's your life, man. That is very cool, though. That sort of dynamic has been depicted in movies, and it's probably a lot of military movies where they come in and then they hate the hard-ass DI, only to sort of embrace, and then they see, you realize the method is there for a reason.
Yeah, it's a method. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
All right, Ed.
There's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Thanks, Ed. We appreciate it, bud. I want to go to, let me go to this one. This is Sean. Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
That's all right, buddy.
There you go.
So we were talking about being the youngin', either at work or on a team or in some dynamic like that. What was your story?
So I started work at a carpet warehouse when I was 17, and it was like 70-year-old Jewish guys who had retired from, one owned a butcher shop, one owned a liquor store, and the guy that owned the carpet store would hire all these. So, it was just amazing, kind of, because this was in 1985. So
Okay.
they were 70 in 1985. So they had lived these lives, and I would just listen to them tell all of their stories, and I was just a young kid, and all the Bubba, go to the Acme and get me some white fish and bagels.
Let me tell you something. Again, and what you're saying resonates with me because I tended to spend a lot of time with older people when I was a kid. It's just the nature of my environment. So were you kind of eager to listen to them and sort of learn and experience it, or did you at all consider it a pain in the ass?
No, I look back on it, and I was a kid, 17.
Yeah.
I knew nothing, and to listen to their life stories. But they were the salespeople at this, and they were cut. They would, over the sales, they would go outside and at 70 try to fight each other because that was my customer.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
To fight each other.
And this is as I'm driving to work right now at almost 60 years old, working for the same place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice, Sean.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
My first job.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate
was-
the story.
I think I've mentioned this before, Preston. I was 15. I just got my card to work, and it was at Montgomery Ward. This predated my legendary job at Dunkin' Donuts, and so the guy who was my boss was like 74, 75. I mean, this and a chain smoker, and it was like, I mean, I felt so way out, and I was with this guy for hours. He was a nice guy, but he wasn't like, hey, I have stories. He was just like,
get to work.
I'm gonna be dead soon. And like, yeah, that kind of thing.
Hearing that last call, I've realized it, and it's a good skill to have, and I don't really have it. I never have been able to, not communicate, that's the wrong word, to identify very well with people outside of my own generation.
Right.
I try, but even with my kids, I'm fine with them, but like their friends and things like that,
Yeah.
I just don't have a skill. Casey, you have that skill. You and with younger and older people.
Yeah, well,
you're really good at that.
It's funny you should say that because I have to disagree with you about the older one. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like I just, I didn't have any sort of relationship with my grandparents. So me talking to older, elderly people, I just was never really good at it. And then
I hate to disappoint you, son, but I'm not gay.
But I was thinking, I don't even know where to go with that.
Just keep going.
I wasn't coming on to you, sir.
Yeah,
I was just asking if you were using the shopping cart.
No, but I was having this thought the other day that, like, if I had actually come up in another generation, because, like, mentally wise, like, I still feel like I'm 18, 21 years old. Or
I think
whatever.
most of us do.
Yeah.
Physically, my body feels every bit of age. But but I wonder if I were born in another generation, because I just don't feel like older people like me. And like
that is a blanket statement that I don't even think you believe.
I have never ever.
I don't think you believe that for a second.
No, I do. I've had 2 teachers. No, 3 teachers.
And they all hated you?
From kindergarten to, let's say, senior year of high school. 3 teachers that I can identify, I'd say, that actually treated me like they liked me. Do you know what I mean?
You don't have people who are significantly or older than you right now that you hang out with or that who like you and you're good with?
Yeah.
I find that hard. Don't you find that hard to believe?
Well, I do, but going back to the teacher thing, you have admitted, though, on many occasions that you were a bit of a cut-up and you were a difficult student, so that's going to be hard for a teacher.
I know, but like I was a cut-up and my buddy Brett was a cut-up, okay?
You were a scamp.
But they loved Brett. And they did not like me. And I'm like, okay, we're doing the same thing. Is it just because he's more handsome? Probably.
No. Yeah, good-looking people.
Yeah, freaking good-looking people.
But
why don't you lay down on the couch? I'll take some notes.
But anyhow, it's been kind of hard for me.
Oh, really?
To identify with people outside of my own generation, and I wish I could. It's a great skill to have.
Do you know what? I think I'm actually pretty good at that.
Yeah?
I think I'm, and I don't know. I can
Younger
hang out
people
with
too?
younger people too. And I growing up, I had a lot of I was surrounded by a lot of older people. And so that was, that skill developed that way.
You know what, Press? It was when I moved into my first home and we lived on this little cul-de-sac with all these original owners. And then this guy, Mike, that I'm friends with now, he moved in. And Mike immediately took to the older people. And I was like, and so Bob and Cass, I'm like, they hate me. You know what I mean? Like,
is Mike better looking than you?
No,
Okay.
I am way more handsome than Mike.
So that blows holes in your
But
theory.
he's taller. He's tall.
Mike is so tall. Get out of my way, shrimp. Mike's here.
Here's a text that says, my dead grandparents' last words were, I hate Casey.
Oh, my God.
I knew it.
What is it about it?
I'm going to go back to some calls here. This one is, Robert's been on hold for a while. I want to see what he has to say. Hey, Robert, you're on the air. Good morning, bud.
Hey, good morning. This is Rob, the Disney artist.
Oh, Rob. Good morning to see you, Robert. All right. So,
you guys too.
what did you want to tell us?
So I actually started Disney in 2000. I was 19 years old, and on the team I'm on, which currently the next oldest or next youngest person was in their mid 40s.
Okay.
And it went all the way into their 70s.
Wow.
And so I'm 19 years old, and they're training me on how to draw things. And I'm working with people that actually worked with Walt Disney in the 50s on Sleeping Beauty. Another generation, I have people that worked on Hanna-Barbera stuff and Disney Afternoon stuff like He-Man, Muppet Babies, DuckTales. And here I am, 19 years old, saying, I just put a cold air intake on my car and I lowered it.
Yeah.
You know, these people are like,
but you're also with other artists, and you want to be an artist. So I would imagine the respect you had, that was clear in your mind, right?
oh yeah, and like another caller said, Fetus. That was my nickname too.
You were Fetus.
So they treated you like the kid.
Oh yeah, and they all ordered me milk when we all went out to lunch where everyone was having beers and everything.
I assume though, because of that, you develop a skill because you want to learn from these people who have this storied past.
Yeah,
I assume that helped you communicate, right? So you probably have pretty good chops when it comes to talking to old people.
Oh yes, because you have to, because that's the only way to survive. And
right.
Sit and watch them and learn, and look over their shoulder, because that's the only way to learn, and that's actually the best way to actually teach the younger people as well.
Yeah. That's cool that you work with people who work directly with Walt Disney.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the first African American animators, Floyd Norman, who's on every Disney Collector's behind the scenes video, was one of my mentors.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Great to hear from you, Robert. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. We'll see you. Wow. Great story.
That guy listens to our show.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Let me go to hang on. Oh yeah, this was Katie. Hi, Katie. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. All right, Katie, what do you want to tell us?
So I work for a building trades union in South Jersey. I'm not going to say which one, but so I'm in the office. I'm the office manager, and all of my other people in the office, they are all either 30, 40 years my senior, and they're all men. They're all big, rough and tough, like building trades guys out working in the field and stuff. But now they work in the office, and I love it.
Wow.
They all treat me like they're my second father.
Oh,
that's
great.
Protective over me, and then they also treat me like I'm this like miracle genius whiz with a computer.
Yeah.
And
How do you get the mouse to work?
Yeah.
The generational divide there is like anyone my age learned all of this stuff in like 5th grade computers class.
Yeah.
But they think I'm amazing, and it's like, can you
That's hilarious.
do a PDF? And I'm like, absolutely, and they praise me, and I'm not going to tell them that it's very easy, but like it's great, and I really really love it, and it's just funny because I'm 29. I'm a young girl, and I'm working with these guys that are ready to retire, 65 years old.
Oh, I love it.
They curse out people on the phone, these contractors, and then they're like, "Sweetie, would you like a coffee?" And it's just so funny to see the dynamic there. It's like,
I think that is the coolest thing, Katie, especially that you're sort of a default daughter figure. They're protective of you, and yet the fact that they marvel at your technology knowledge is hilarious.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and they know. They're like, you can't teach dog old tricks, and it could go the other way with being like working for creepy men or things like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all.
Oh, that's great.
You.
Good for you.
All right, thanks, Katie. We appreciate that. Let's see what.
Line 6. It's ridiculous.
Okay. All right, yeah, let me do that. All right, I have Adam. Hi, Adam. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Sorry to bother you at work.
That's all right, man. All right, so.
I hear Casey saying my story's ridiculous. It really is.
So you're the kid, like literally in this story, right?
Yeah. So I was like 7 or 8, so it was like 90, maybe like 92, 93, and my dad had an electrical business, and I grew up doing that with him. So, I knew it, and I knew it very well. So he used to jokingly have me, evaluate new guys. So he's like, hey, Adam, what did John do? When I'm on a double A-frame ladder wiring stuff in the ceiling, I'm like, oh, well, that guy didn't, twist the wires together and then use a wire nut. He just went the shortcut, put a wire nut on it. So my dad ends up firing this guy because he's, just taking shortcuts. There's the right way.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So, Adam, you were giving a legit evaluation then.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was going to be like you going, oh, he's stinky.
Yeah. He's a bad.
You actually knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's funny. I thought maybe it was
later.
I thought maybe it was a game like you and your dad would play on these people as kind of a joke. That's hilarious. All right, go ahead.
Right. So like 2 years later, my dad goes, hey, remember, John? I go, yeah, why? Whatever happened to him? Oh, he started his own business. He's the guy that just killed the gorillas at him at the zoo. I was like, oh, my God, it's my fault. Like, if this guy would have stayed with my dad.
What is this story? What is this story?
Back up on the gorillas here. What happened with the gorillas? I don't remember that.
The Philadelphia Zoo that burned down in 95.
There was a fire.
Yeah, the gorilla. Wait, no.
It was an electrical fire.
Yeah, I remember it now. I just thought like this guy actually crawled into the
enclosure and
was killing the gorillas.
Wait a minute, Adam. So that's that's the guy that you gave a bad eval to?
Yeah. He's the one that wired the new gorilla house in 1995 for the Philadelphia Zoo, and it had an electrical fire.
Oh, my God.
Fire that burned it down.
Adam, you were indirectly responsible for the death of many gorillas.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So as an adult, people are like, you remember we used to have the gorillas? I hang my head. I'm like, it's my fault.
No, it's not, Adam. As a matter of fact, this guy should have learned from his experience working with you and your father that maybe I shouldn't take any shortcuts here.
Yeah, no.
He's the grown-up.
That's definitely the epitome of what I thought you guys were looking for. A kid giving an evaluation.
Dude, you got the brass ring on this one, man.
Thanks, Adam.
Gorilla killer.
They had really tragic gorilla stories because they also, back in the 80s, they had the oldest gorilla, I think in the world, but definitely in the United States. They had a big birthday party for him at the Philadelphia Zoo. He died on his birthday.
I know, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to go to, we have to take a break here shortly. Let's go to Bill here. Hi, Bill, good morning.
What's up, guys?
Yo, bud, what's going on?
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
So I was in a hunting cabin, which was upstate Pennsylvania, and my uncles, my dad, and like other family friends. And it was just being a young guy, you're farting, you're burping around the old guy.
You're jerking it.
Yeah. Pissing in their coffee, rubbing feces in their hair.
Yeah, that's the funny
stuff. The best thing you guys are going to like is that there was an older guy that we used to be there. His name was Elmer. He had one eye because I think he lost his eye in like a dart.
All right.
Elmer, one-eyed, dart accident, hunting cabin.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the best.
And we'd be like in bed, like getting ready for the next day of hunting, and he'd come out with all these one-liner, like dirty jokes, and it was just the best time.
And how old were you again?
I was 12.
Okay.
And was this just a one-time thing, or was this regular?
No, we used to do this every year until my uncles died off.
Yeah.
And the cabin's no longer, but yeah.
Wow.
How often did you spoon with Elmer?
Never did.
Elmer, show him the trick with your eye. Show him to do that
Take
thing.
it out.
Yeah, take that thing out. Put it in your mouth.
But it was just
That's hilarious.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. All right, one last one, Casey.
Yeah, because there's
Jen?
2 stars next to her.
Yeah.
name.
Okay, we'll go to her. Hi, Jen. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Jen, you're going to be our last caller, so make it a good one.
I don't know how good it is, but it's interesting because I was a high school.
Oh, hold on just a moment. Your signal is breaking up. Start over again, please, Jen.
I was 18 years old and a high school senior, and I worked at one of our state prisons.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And your parents allowed that?
Yes.
We weren't even allowed to deliver pizza just on the off chance that somebody would rob us.
What was the position you held?
I worked in the parole office where if the guys got written up during their stay, I was to file their charges into their file.
Okay.
And I would read them, and I worked with older women, so they were kind of haggish. And
haggish?
Yeah. And because they were I guess intimidated by the 18-year-old that picked up on it. And then the inmates, we had to walk through the facility, and I had an inmate approach me and introduce himself. Next thing I know, all the COs are surrounding me. They have him pinned against the fence. I went back and read his chart, and I read the charges of what he did. And I don't know if I can tell you.
Sex offender?
He burned his girlfriend in every orifice with an iron.
Dear Lord.
God.
Okay.
Yeah. So I come home and my mom and dad were like, "How was work today?" And I'm like, "Well, I met this inmate."
To Casey's point, that's a big sell when you're an 18-year-old girl and
I met
you're
a boy.
Yeah. And guess what he did? He used an iron to burn his girlfriend's genitals.
Yeah, he's the one.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus.
How long?
I had an accident, my car accident.
Yeah.
They knew which car was mine.
Oh, wow.
They knew that I had had an accident. They had an inmate that shuttled us between buildings. He knew I was in high school. Like, they knew everything. So, I mean to tell you, and this was in 1987.
Wow.
Jeez. Wow. Well, yes.
Did you just do 1 year there, or how long did you last?
Yeah, so I was offered a position to stay after high school, but the other women in the office were opposed to it. And I could have retired at 38 years old.
Yes. Yeah. Man. Wow. Well, maybe it's better with especially with the guy wandering around with the
and the
iron.
hags.
Yeah. And the hags.
Yeah, that's not the only one, but I mean, this was a maximum security prison.
Wow.
Your parents must have been sweating bullets.
Oh my God.
Well, the school my high school actually had a partnership with them to try to find somebody to work in the office, and I'm like, this is some small town BS, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jen. Appreciate it. All right. Actually, I'm going to do one more. We have one more caller up here because Grace works in the thing that I love. She works at a golf course. Hi, Grace. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
I got something for you, Grace. I don't get to use this all this much. Here you go.
Grace! There you go. So you are the kid right now where you work, right?
Yep. I'm at work right now as I speak.
What do you do?
I'm a groundskeeper at a country club.
Okay. And do you hold a position of, are you like a department head or are you the superintendent?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
I'm just an employee.
All right. And so you work around a group of much older people.
Yes.
And what's that
Very
like?
much. Definitely interesting. You know, working at them old bastards.
So what is when we're talking old bastards? Are we talking 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus?
60 plus.
Okay, and are you doing actually the groundskeeping for like the golf course and everything?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Are you a golfer yourself by any chance?
Kind of.
Do you?
Why'd you end up working there, Grace?
Close by to my house, and okay money.
All right, so you don't really care that much about golf. For you, it's just more of a it was a job. Okay.
You know what though? I'll tell you this: both nieces in my family, they worked at a golf course. They worked in the restaurant, and there was money to be made. This is
what my daughter wants to do because we went and played golf about a week and a half ago, and I let her drive the cart, and she saw the cart girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Wait a second, that's a job? I can do that?
That's a big money making job.
Is that anything you might gravitate towards, Grace, or are you digging the groundskeeping?
Well, here they don't have a cart girl, but I would love that because the tips they make is out of this world.
Yeah. All right.
But you have to be 18, so my daughter's only 15.
All right, but do you like the environment in, or is it just
I love it.
All right, okay, well, good
Stories
for
they
you.
have to tell.
The stories they have to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeps me entertained.
And I tell you what, with a lot of those old bastards, if you want to start a conversation, lead with, "How about that blue emu, huh?"
Doesn't stink.
Doesn't stink.
All right, thank you, Grace. Appreciate it. All right, well. This all got kicked off from Kevin Sullivan, who played with the Union. We have the audio of when he was introduced on stage, and this is Dave Leno, right?
Yeah.
Who does the play-by-play?
Great announcer for the Union.
This is him announcing the kid. He's 14 years old, youngest ever.
And the separation creates an opportunity now for Kevin Sullivan to become the youngest debutant in Major League team sports. Jim Curtin has said his job is to be a 14-year-old kid. It's not some gimmicky thing to get headlines or sell tickets. This kid is ready. And Kevin Sullivan, the history maker, now enters this arena.
All right, so youngest ever in Major League sports.
Yeah.
In all.
In North America.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's incredible.
That is crazy.
Something else, man. Well, all right. Well, thank you for the calls. We appreciate it. We do have to take a break. Come back in a second. We got some bizarre file stories we're going to share with you. I'll tell you about how you can win some Hershey Park tickets and the guests and all this stuff. We'll be right back.
All the Prushets. Yeah.
I'm actually Mrs. Prussia.
She is.
Yeah.
She shops there all the time.
I heard that she cooks.
Oh,
You heard wrong.
have heard wrong, sir.
Wrong, Mrs. Prussia.
She makes reservations. Yeah.
I can make a mean reservation.
She makes a mean reservation.
She makes a mean Romanoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give some love to the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by, man. So let me go to here and more broken ribs. I have it says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a nickname now, Walter.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you hear what happened to old Walper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and the P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Walper.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name is Walter. And what happened to you? So what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand.
Yeah.
I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name.
His guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
But at least you got a great nickname today.
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother, okay?
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Simple as that.
And then his life turned around.
I'm the head of a Fortune 500 company. And I can do the saber dance.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Oh, man.
So the Kardashians won big as well last night, and they had a weird speech. They were trying to thank firefighters and stuff, and they actually made their win a tribute to the firefighters. And listen, see if you can hash this out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
This is
It's
Kim.
been a really rough week in our home in Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and our neighbors in Thousand Oaks and Malibu. Our hearts are broken from the horrific shootings and those who have lost their lives and homes, as well as the hundreds of thousands of us that have been evacuated from the devastating fires that are currently burning. So thank you so much to all of the people that have voted for us. This is such an honor.
Did you make that leap there? Did you make that leap?
Okay.
There's a lot of fire out there, but thank you for voting for us.
Are they dedicating the award?
It gets to that at the end, yeah.
All right.
I'd like to dedicate this win to all of the firefighters, the law enforcement, and the first responders.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I'd like to thank the people what put out the fires.
Like, it just doesn't seem very genuine
It doesn't.
ever when it comes from them.
You can see the guys who are really, eating smoke and battling flames up. I got great news, guys! Kardashian win was dedicated to us!
Like, I can just see them sitting around, like, when we win, we should, like, dedicate to somebody so it makes us look good.
Listen, I want to tell everyone up there on the mountain, you guys are doing a great job. The Kardashians just donated their win to you on a field choice award. I just want to carry that into the fire with you.
That's the chief going on the radio to tell all the guys.
Attention everyone, Kardashians just donated their win on the People's Choice Awards to you. So I hope that inspires you to go marching into those flames and that super heat and that whipped up win. No word on Little Women LA yet.
Yeah. No. During the final night of the Experience and Innocence tour in Berlin, Bono made a comment that has fans fearing that this is the end of the iconic band. He said, "We've been on the road for quite some time, just going on 40 years, and this last 4 years have been really something very special for us. We're going away now." So that led people to think that maybe the band is done.
Doesn't mean that the band is breaking up or that we're going away or stopping performing. We're just taking a well-deserved trip to the Great Wolf Lodge. Where parents can drink while their kids ride down water slides.
It is amazing there.
It is amazing. Kathy says it's amazing too.
Yeah. Well, none of the kids would recognize you two, so they could be pretty, They could be in obscurity for a moment.
You
Anyhow,
literally drink in the pools there.
You can literally drink in the pool and piss in the pool at the same time. If it's so chlorinated, it doesn't make a difference. I took a full level bowel movement and no one could tell because the water was so chlorinated, it just ate it right up. All the fecal matter dispersed. Okay.
I don't know.
What's that?
That's, no.
Oh, you did it as well, Kathy?
No, that's.
You dropped a bomb in the pool? You popped a landmine out?
That's not.
You put a depth charge in the deep end?
a full level bowel movement.
And no one was the wiser. Even the edge was standing right next to me. He was totally enveloped in my poop cloud and had no idea.
No idea.
That's a quality pool there.
I think most people, upon moving into a house, remove all the demonic paintings. It's part of the deal. A lot of people will change the pentagram carpet for maybe like a light shag.
We had our house built. I like the fact that we're the very first people to own the home.
But are you?
Because
on an Indian graveyard, right? That's where you.
Yeah. They didn't remove the graves.
You know what? We had to blast to actually get to pour the foundation. So I'm pretty certain there was nothing below.
So it
where
was a lot of fun.
So what's that?
It was a blast.
It was a blast.
Yes. Where you saw bones flying and pieces of coffin.
But I like the fact that when we're done and gone, or when we eventually decide to move on, that that was we made that. We had a say in how that thing was put together. And
in here was where the owner was caught pleasuring himself by his wife, unaware that the light from his laptop was obscuring his vision. Follow me into the observatory.
I was wearing headphones too. I didn't hear her come in. Kathy shakes her head.
Like you were all in.
Oh, hey, you can't do that half-ass, man.
No.
Clearly.
You gotta go all
Sure,
in.
he was vigorously providing himself with pleasure.
Yeah.
His wife called out to him, but he could not hear because he was listening to his headphones. And here is the pool table, where pool is seldom played, but clothing is full.
My daughter and I played pool the other night.
Oh, there you are.
Right. First time in a while. She asked me to, but yes, it's become a laundry table. Oh my God! Yeah, what are the other wonderful things? What are the other
as they lead the tour?
Horrible things that have happened.
No one stays in this house after night.
The dining room where no one eats, they drink, right? Isn't there a bar in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's not forget the old house with the haunted litter box.
It was on a rainy night when the owner awoke from many hours of drinking and raised a shotgun to the automatic kitty litter cleaner, yelling out, "I want to see you."
I've got a gun.
I've got a gun. I gave him 10 seconds to get out of the house. Which I thought was,
We should all design haunted tours of our current houses. The dumb crap.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
My brother thinks my house is haunted. He's said that since the day we've moved in.
No
he said there's somebody that lives here with you.
Wait, your country house?
Yeah, my
Really?
current house. Yeah, this is the day that my brother lived
You're the
with me
first owners.
for a little while, and he's like, I hear them. He goes, they walk around.
Wait. Did you have the house built?
Yes.
Okay, so you're the first owner.
We are the first owner. There was a house.
This place is too clean.
No, but Preston, there was a house there that was knocked down.
Okay.
And actually, the man who has since passed away, he was a wonderful man, lived across the street from me.
I hope you rot in hell.
No, well, he did the masonry work on the house. And he told me one time, he goes, yeah, when they were tearing down that house, he goes, I sat outside and watched. He goes, I did, all of that work on the house. And I was like, oh my God,
man.
I'm so sorry.
So now it's haunted by Slender Manthe.
Yeah, so it's...
Slender Manthe.
I mean, I think it's just the house settling, but my brother thinks it's haunted.
Slender Manthe.
Do these jeans make me look hippie?
Big J.O.
Yes.
Hey!
That's right, even when I'm here. I'm not Miss August or December.
No.
I don't know, Kathy. Any of that traffic, did it seem like something that would have kept Miss December out of here?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know where she was coming from.
Hey,
Did
were
any of
you-
that traffic add up?
Were you here one time before when we rolled out the calendar?
He was.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
was
we
here for a
were.
calendar. I was here for Philadelphia's hottest trans.
Really?
Yeah.
right. You
Did we
sure
do
were.
that? I totally forgot.
Yeah, Philadelphia's sexiest lady boy.
You guys met, right? You guys got to hang out after.
So I've never seen more women in a room and not a pube for miles. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, there was a weird situation we had you in, right?
It was his friend.
Yes,
Yeah, it ended up being a weird situation for my friend.
But stories to tell your children.
Yeah. I mean, we all found at the same time, and I don't remember what time it was, but it was definitely too late.
That's awesome.
I noticed that, and I said to you right away, you look like you've lost some more weight. And is it a bigger guy who has lost weight? Do you get tired of hearing that?
No, not at all.
Good.
I'll take it. I tried so hard. Yeah, I did. Every time I do a television thing, I'm like, well, this is probably the last time they're going to let me on television. So I should try to get one where I... it's already bad enough I do comedy sitting on a stool. So every time when I did my hour special on Comedy Central, I had already lost a bunch of weight to get to that size. And then sitting on a stool, every time they film you, you're like, this camera guy hates me.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't like me at all. Is that a pile of tires sitting on? So I knew for the Netflix special, I knew that I was going to be sitting again. So I tried again to lose weight. And then, I didn't lose that much, but then I also learned how to sit with my back arch.
There you go.
Oh, you're doing all the cheats. Yeah.
And I covered my nipples with suds. I guess some people stole my idea. But that's cool. That's
all
cool.
right.
I said everyone jump in.
It's funny because and it happens. This is why we're on radio. I mean, Kathy and Marissa obviously are they're pleasant to look at, but we are not. And when we do any TV or anything, I'm like, dear God, do we look horrific? And people say, there's a different angle. There's some people who've had actors and actresses come in here. They know their angle. They know, what's the best way for them to be their side.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? I
think if you ask those things, it makes me feel like I'm admitting too much bad about myself.
The BFL, a couple of shout outs that I have not gotten to yet. This was from Carrie Baub, B-O-U-B, I guess. And said, good morning, Ed. Quick shout out request for my wife, Lauren, who turns 49. She's hotter than it is hot out and just the dopest.
She's dope.
She's dope. And he says, love yous. MMR rock. So a chart, please. Thank you. And then this one said, hey, can you please send a birthday shout out to my wife, Suzanne, from her husband, Drew. His name is Drew Procaccino.
Hey!
And it says, as close to July 17th as you can. Oh, missed it just by a hair. Many thanks from Drew. So here's a shout out for you. And that's all I needed to get to.
All right.
Or you know what? Here, I'll mention this. Casey's event tonight. So since we're doing shout outs, we can do a little butt plug for that. So, Case.
Yeah, so Team WMMR is having an event tonight at Pinocchio's Pizza on Baltimore Pike in Media. It is it's a jersey pickup event. So for my team members, they're going to come to Pinocchio's and pick up their brand new jerseys. So
Very nice.
If you come, you will be the very, very first to see the brand new design. I'm not saying what it looks like. I am saying I think it's my favorite jersey that we've made thus far.
We've seen it. It does look damn good.
So it's going to be that. So there is that aspect of it, but really it's just a hang, right? And so last night, Dining Under the Stars was canceled because of weather. So why don't you come outside, hang with us, sample. We're going to have a bunch of different Dewey beers on tap for you to sample. Wilson's is going to be there slinging some brisket sandwiches. Obviously, the pizza and the Stromboli is going to be flowing as well. So I will be there from 6 to 9 tonight. I just want you to come and hang out. That's it.
All right. Very good. We need to do the bizarre file. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by College Ave. Experience a better way to pay for college at collegeave.com. You can apply for a college loan in minutes and be on your way to a bright future only at collegeave.com. Last month, the 77-year-old woman was using her home computer when the device froze and a message appeared on screen directing her to call a phone number for assistance. Well, while many younger or more computer-savvy targets might recognize this pop-up as part of a tech support scam, the Florida resident was unaware that a malicious app or malware on her computer may have caused the machine to temporarily lock up. So the woman who was only referred to in this story as Betty Jones, reached for her phone. And what followed was a week-long fraud that saw the septuagenarian defrauded out of $265,000 in cash and gold bullion.
Man.
So Jones's call was answered by a man who claimed to be a hacker investigator with Apple. He had troubling news. Jones's IP address had been linked to a variety of criminal activity, and it was being investigated by the Treasury Department. She would be arrested as an accomplice if she did not cooperate.
You got to imagine this woman's panicking.
An email then sent to Jones by Eric Castaneda, who claimed to be a Federal Trade Commission agent, attached a letter on FBI letterhead, which now purported to identify the elderly woman as a victim of hacking, money laundering, and identity theft. To clear her name, she was told she could secure her funds with the FTC and U.S. Treasury Department by sending cash to a government safety locker, but she would have to follow a strict non-disclosure agreement.
Of course.
So she proceeded to withdraw $23,000 from her bank account and mailed the money to a supposed lawyer in San Jose. The address she was directed to use is actually a townhouse that has been unoccupied and listed for rent on Zillow.
Man.
Fraud operations will also often use vacant residences as a drop-off, and someone will wait around and pick up what they're getting dropped off. Though Jones already paid this guy thousands of dollars, the price to exonerate herself would quickly grow to six figures. After she sent the cash to California, Jones was told to obtain a large amount of gold. So she went online and purchased $242,000 worth of gold bullion, and then had the retailer send the precious metal, 95 1-ounce bars, to Jones's residence. After nearly 6 pounds of gold arrived, Jones contacted, quote-unquote, Castaneda, and said that a man would drive to her home, retrieve the gold. So the guy pulled up and took the gold.
It's horrible.
And after picking that up, the driver was dispatched later that day to another nearby location to pick up $200,000 in gold from a 78-year-old man who had already been swindled out of $154,000.
Come to my house first.
Of gold bars. But what the driver didn't know is that this guy had called the cops.
Aha!
So the cops were there at that pickup. So he was doing 2 gold pickups in the day. They got him on the second one.
Thank God.
And obviously busted. And
I hear stories like this, and I so want to extort senior citizens.
Don't you
because
really?
They're
I mean,
such suckers.
Clearly, there is money to be made.
It's just, I mean, you're wiping out people's lives.
People work their entire lives
it's horrible.
to accrue these savings. This is essentially.
But always gold is a good investment, though.
It is. But we were talking about the beekeeper with Jason Statham. This is the plot. This is it. The woman gets a malware thing. She calls the phone number and gets swindled out of all of her life savings.
And he goes and he takes them on big time.
So the guy that was busted is Tejas Kumar Patel, who is 21 years old, and he's going to jail now.
Good.
All right, a person urinated on a LaGrange church statue. Nice, Casey. I didn't even know you saw this. And then twice rammed a bicyclist who was taking a photo. So the suspect was identified as 43-year-old Lelu Ritter of Chicago Ridge. The suspect was charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery, and criminal property damage. A bicyclist, here's the story. A bicyclist saw Ryder urinating on the statue of the Virgin Mary at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church.
I don't like that.
The bicyclist, a 53-year-old man, circled around to take photos of Ryder, who was then inside a car. Ryder became confrontational and told the bicyclist, "Don't take my picture. I'm a police officer." Ryder then pulled away, reversed the car at high speed, and struck the bicyclist, knocking him to the ground. Ryder then slammed into the bicyclist again, dragging the bike underneath the car. Realizing Ryder was trying to kill him, the 53-year-old ran for the church steps in an attempt to get to higher ground. At this point, Ryder drove up on a driveway, ran into a neighbor's bushes, and then left.
Wow. And this guy says he's a police officer, huh?
Officers gathered video from the area and arrested Ryder 5 days later at his apartment.
He must be undercover.
Yeah. All right, how about this story? All right, a former Florida county commissioner is catching heat from the community that he's hoping will reelect him. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the kicker here.
Yeah.
He's running for office after a set of disturbing racist messages he sent to other county officials became public. Walton County Commissioner Trey Nick sent those messages in a group chat to a former assistant county attorney and a man who serves as current county commissioner during a business trip.
Am I a racist? Yes, but I'm a racist that will work for you.
In that chat, Nick sent out one message to officials that read, "Plenty of N-words out this evening," followed by pictures of a scene from the movie Friday showing Ice Cube and Chris Tucker in a car.
Yes, I know it's an unconventional platform.
He calls the rapper and actor monkeys at the circus in the same thread.
Yeah, he's a man of the people, clearly.
Yeah, and several public records requested filed by county residents led to the release of the text, leading to a wave of public backlash against him. Nick was the county's District 4 commissioner when he sent the text. He served in the position until 2022. During his time on the job, he was embroiled in a number of legal battles and controversies, including a sexual harassment lawsuit and a bombshell investigation that revealed that he and other commissioners misused taxpayer money.
Aren't you tired of voting for people only later to find out they're racist?
I already am. Earlier that year, an internal audit revealed that Nick and the other 5 members of the commissioner board violated the county's credit card and travel policies dozens of times. They used taxpayer funds to pay for expensive lodging and flights during several business trips between 2018 and 2022. He also failed to disclose those expenses and justify their necessity to the county.
God almighty.
So he also, he apparently he never had faced anything for those penalties after the findings were revealed, but was part of a process to make several revisions to the policies that were breached. He's now running for the District 1 commissioner seat in Walton County. The election
How's he polling?
Takes place on November 5th. I don't have any word on how his numbers are right now, Steve, but he's not giving up.
Progress is his middle name.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment. Don't forget, a little later on, our buddy Jim Florentine is checking in because he's got a show coming up tomorrow night at the Keswick Theater. Tammy Pescatelli and Tom Cotter on the bill as well. And we'll talk to actor Brandon Perea, who is in Twisters, and that opens tomorrow. So we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Can you not film me from, I don't know, obviously sideways and from the floor, please?
What we've been talking about news-wise, you familiar with this this scam that took place, this GoFundMe?
Oh, yeah.
So they came by.
Never try to help one bum.
They came by last year. They came by our Camp Out for Hunger right after that story broke, and we interviewed all 3 of them on the air. And we got word of this yesterday that the 3 of them were in on this together.
In cahoots.
Oh my
All of them in
God.
cahoots, and then the one who wasn't getting enough money, the guy who was the homeless guy, he goes to take them to court.
Yeah.
And that's
Tries
how
to sue him.
it
To
goes
sue
to
him
sue
for not giving him his part of the scam.
Yes! Of the stolen money.
Never help one bum. You ever try to give a homeless guy food? They look at you like you're handing them a bag of someone's dump. It's really, they're like, what am I going to do with this? Like you're like, eat it. It's hot. It's food, and they're like, I don't like keep it for like what? They're so baffled by it. Do a GoFundMe for like an overall like shelter or something. Like to give it to.
There you go.
I've never seen that work out good where you help one person.
With everything else going on, the show and everything, what's coming up for you? It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, pretty much just did the radio show's been doing great on Sirius XM, so pumping that out in the podcasts.
By the way, Dan, it was they were interviewing for something. They sent it over to us, and he was very complimentary about the show. You guys are always very complimentary when you're on other shows. We appreciate it. Getting the word out.
Oh yeah, for you guys. Yeah, you guys are. I always think it's the coolest thing. The best nod you guys get is Joe Rogan, who needs no press anywhere he goes, always like shouts you guys and still gives you guys.
It's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
It means the world to us. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw Opie from Opie and Anthony sent like a cut of wrestling promo for him not doing his show. Did you see that on the street?
No.
Oh, it's very uncomfortable.
Oh. You know, it never understood those dynamics. It was never anything that we got involved with. You just try to do the best. It's like what you do. You just do
your show.
Do your show.
We tried to start a radio war with Bob and Tom, but then they disbanded.
That's a shame.
Bob and Tom. You for the Bob and Tom have been around for a long. Well, used to be around for a long time.
They're garbage.
Keep it up.
They're junk.
Yeah, I'm like, and I
It's
look
the
at
worst radio show I've ever done.
Really? Why?
They want you to do bits.
It's a yuck fest.
And I mean, and I was like, yeah, you don't want me to do bits. Like my bits are too. And they go, well, that's how it works here. I go, well, I'll leave. Like, it's fine. And they go, we need you to do bits. I go, well, what do you want me to do? The one about this? You know, and I'm just saying, like, vile things.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to do bits, it's going to be, like, I can't. I'm like a dirty comic.
It's going to be bad.
Hey, do the latest bit about your daughter. That
They got the things people, when the hate mail I've gotten for that Netflix special, like, the things people have to write to, like, when someone has to cite the parts they don't like, it is so funny reading that.
Oh, my God. Oh, that has to be worth it alone.
He thinks there's humor and about his daughter's genitals. I'm like, why? How can you write that?
Does that bother you?
No, you know what's funny? I said this to someone, I ignore it all, but, like, the thing is, it doesn't bother me. It just, I do still get an emotion, like, involuntary.
Okay.
When someone writes, like, this ruined my day, you know, boycott Netflix and these hashtags will start about it. And you're just like, I swear to you, the intention of this was just to make you laugh. Understanding it might make some people go, it's not my thing. But that's fine. But when someone's like, they have such, like, hatred for, and I said that what's funny is the complaint is always very personal.
Yeah.
Like, I've done nothing personal. I've just made, like, a broad spectrum joke that somebody can twist to make it, you know, he's talking about this. And you know,
so we've had sometimes we're good. We don't get bombarded, but occasionally, like, if someone will complain about something that I've done, I say, okay, but everyone has a personal thing that's their thing. You made fun of this, but did you laugh at this? But I
did point that out. I wrote back to one person, and I was like, I'm not going to write back to anything else.
Yeah.
But the person
if the person is thoughtful, you'll do it.
Well, the transgender joke was the one that caught some heat, which I saw coming. And then someone said where I made a joke about wishing it legal to beat your children, but with, like, a focused reason, not just, like, crazy abuse.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like a joke. And someone wrote, as a victim of domestic abuse, it was like, as a victim of domestic abuse, I don't think it's appalling you would make a joke about that. And when I wrote back, I was like, again, that has nothing to do with what my joke's about. And I was like, sorry that happened to you. But I was also like, isn't it interesting that you complain about that only, and, like, the other complaints I got were about this trans show. And I go, and both of you only complained about the thing that affected you personally. You know what I mean?
Right.
That person didn't go, and this, and then it's always like, it's just the one joke that hit them personally. And no one sees that before they start taking to the computer to be like, how can you say this one specific thing? And you're like, you got to either be mad at all of it or none of it.
Right.
Well, you're not out to hurt anybody. That's what gets missed.
That's the bummer. That's the bummer when people get upset.
You're trying to make people laugh.
My thing was to make you laugh.
Yeah,
I understand that you might not laugh, but to have somebody go, like, it's inspired you to go write, like, a 4-page letter to Netflix seems pretty, like, you know, it's awesome to some degree.
What kills me, Jay, is that and we always bring this up. Then there's about 45 million other shows on Netflix. Stop watching. Move on to the next thing.
Really?
Or
I like
don't listen.
you're making me look such a bad boy in front of these chicks. Yeah, that's right.
They're lining you up. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about it on a long ride on my motorcycle the other day. I don't even know how to turn on a motorcycle. I've been on a motorcycle 2 times. Both times were behind with my arms around a man's waist. And both times I burned my calf on the exhaust pipe. 2 for 2.
I think the most telling thing was you said, I don't know how to turn on a motorcycle.
I don't.
Turn on.
Is that what we do? Do you turn it on?
You start it up.
You can make the sound.
I know there's something where I have to go like that. I don't understand, like, the thing. It's all like the YouTube celebrity.
No.
You know, a social media celebrity. I don't know how that kind of came out of nowhere. But sometimes, like, that Post Malone's got a song or two that, like, you're like, it's producers, though. It's smart. The Cash Me Outside girl, I've gone 180 on her. We went from, like, just crapping all over to think I'm almost a fan. I bought a new Explorer yesterday, and you have to name it. You have to nickname it in the Ford app.
Yeah.
And I named it Bad Baby. That's her name. That's her rap name. I love her. And
isn't it Bobby? Like Barbie? Bad Barbie?
No, Bad Baby.
Okay, all right.
Bad Baby.
Okay.
She is garbage, but I love her. I've picked sides in the Woe Vicky Bad Baby argument.
Well, you know, she's fighting now Iggy Azalea.
Yeah. Well, you know Woe Vicky? You want to put a good side-by-side? Look at Woe Vicky and Lamb Chop. Remember Lamb Chop? Shari Lewis's Lamb Chop? I just really dated myself for all these hot chicks. You guys remember William Catt from America's Greatest Hero? Greatest American Hero? We, on the bonfire, we do a thing. There's Whoa, Vicky and some dude she was hanging out with, got into they insulted.
They threw shade.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And then came back with an apology video that's like 30 seconds long. And whenever we have to apologize in the bonfire, we had our producer like verbatim write it down. Their sentences. Can you play it, PJ?
See if you can look that up. It's Whoa, Vicky.
It's Whoa, Vicky apologizes Snoop Dogg. It is. There's sentences that go nowhere. It goes, nah, I'm saying, because we don't even know be like when it come then. That's no exaggeration.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Marissa's going to try and search that and bring that audio.
I believe in Marissa. She can do this.
At the end of the day, we respect Snoop Dogg because he a real OG, you know.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop. Like I'm sorry for everything I said. I didn't mean it like that. I make people happy, like do funny videos. That's what I do, and I'm sorry for everything I did. Like towards you and towards everybody that's with your shit, whatever. I'm sorry for everything.
Yeah, for real. Like we really ain't know like what we was saying. Like it was really off for the camera, no cap. Like you know.
All right, it ends there. And by the way, that's like twin speak. By the way, that's
yes,
like
when twins share a language.
Yeah, nobody else knows what the hell they're saying except for those two.
I have no idea what they said at all, but we have it written out. So whenever someone gets and they get mad at us, it's serious a lot. So we always gonna go. I'd like to say to John Fugelsang, you a real OG. I'm sorry for everything I said and what I said be like, because it sometimes be like that, and then I ain't know what I says and that stuff, and you says. But we just like to say the name. He goes, I'd like to apologize to John Fugelsang. So say, man, sometimes our sincerest apologies to Radio Andy.
I love the concept of John Fugelsang being known in the hip hop community.
John Fugelsang. All right, thank you, Big J. Okerson. Let's hear it from everybody. Thanks, bud.
Love you guys. Thank you so much, man.
The holidays are nigh, and Meghan Markle is about to celebrate her first Thanksgiving and Christmas as a royal. But by all accounts, it's going to be pretty weird.
Sparkle Markle?
Well, first up, Thanksgiving. Some question whether the American-born Meghan will be allowed to celebrate the holiday, seeing as it commemorates that time many English-born pilgrims set forth on a long and dangerous voyage to flee political and religious persecution in their homeland.
I thought she and the royal family were going to go visit with the dad here in the States.
Last year, Meghan celebrated with her mother, Doria Ragland, in California. What's going to happen is to be determined, but the Queen reportedly hasn't forbidden the celebration by royal decree, and Meghan and Prince Harry don't have any events scheduled for the day, so she may be indulging in turkey and stuffing behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for Christmas, meanwhile, we want to hope she doesn't eat too much gravy because listen to this. I've never heard of this before. All right, thanks, Nick. So we got a little bit of time. So how about we dive into some surveys?
These incredibly ridiculous surveys that you get sent.
Yep. Survey says what we like to call it. And I've got a few that I have compiled over the last few days that I thought were worth sharing with you guys. And this one has to do with emojis. And according to this survey, 4 in 10 Americans believe a text feels naked without an emoji. This is a survey of 2,000 Americans.
What is so do you believe that as well?
These are Americans aged 21 and over. No. I mean, I have where I've written a message and I'm like, well, that looks kind of plain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it needs a little pow.
Like if you're going to send like an I love you text, it's kind of nice to have a little heart in there or like a little kissy
heart.
emoji
Yeah,
or something
I'll
like
use
that.
the heart. The one I use the most often is the smiling face.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
So they revealed 41% of respondents believe a message needs to include an emoji to be complete. Younger respondents were most likely to agree with the statement. 70% of Gen Z said emojis need to be included with a message compared to 46% of Gen X. But messages shouldn't consist solely of emojis.
Yeah, that pisses me off.
As 32% of respondents said it is a conversation killer.
Yeah, it's like hieroglyphics.
Yeah. And
I
it
don't want
also
to have to decipher the message.
Well, and it's also not just, I guess it'd be a conversation ender, too.
Yeah.
Like I'm done talking. Here's a picture that expresses what I'm talking to you about.
Let me ask you a quick question on this. So if you write a fairly wordy text and you get back thumbs up, do you feel slighted or do you feel...
No, not always.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I know some people see that immediately as a way to go there, buddy.
Yeah.
Kind of a sarcastic
Right,
thing. But no, sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm good with that.
All right.
You know, so it depends on, hey, we're going out tonight.
Yeah.
You going to be there? Thumbs up. Great.
It's
That means
better
it.
off thumbs up. Nick, I apologize because I know you want to jump in here.
Better than a thumbs up emoji is the like or no?
Better to rather than use the thumbs up emoji for something like that. If I'm just approving what you just said, I don't even know how you do it. You hold it down and then the thumbs up comes up. It's not an emoji, but it's an acknowledgement.
Yeah, you can like or love somebody's text.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right.
to me, that's a conversation ender. If Preston texts me that he's going to be there tonight, and I hit the like button or whatever, we're good there. Yeah, and I'm all right on whatever level of emojis you want to use in conversation. I use them fairly frequently. But Preston and Casey, I wanted to ask you guys both because you each have 3 kids. Do your kids correspond differently when it comes to text conversations? Because my son, when I have a text conversation with him, and I only have one child, they're usually pretty brief. There's not a whole lot of text conversation that happens.
Yeah, it's usually pretty brief.
With all of your kids?
Yep, with all 3 of them.
What about you, Case?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah?
Same thing. Although,
more, what is the emoji to actual word ratio?
They're not very emoji heavy.
Yeah, neither
Okay.
are mine.
All right.
Yeah, they're not emoji
Maybe
heavy.
it's old. Maybe it's old hat
Yeah,
now.
neither is my son. And I think that, like, they exist and they can be used in conversation, but they're not as reliant on them.
Steve, do your cats use a lot of emojis?
Yes, a lot. All 8. Yes.
Well, they don't have
They
to
use the
spell.
litter box emoji.
So, yeah, the research ahead of World Emoji Day, which was yesterday, by the
Oh,
way.
man.
The
was
survey
great.
revealed that 58% of respondents believe emojis improve how we talk to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Sometimes there's a little bit of context that's needed. You can lose tone over text. You know, you can't quite tell if there's sarcasm or joy or anger or whatever. There's that whole Key and Peele skit that's brilliant of like taking texts that are written and interpreting them differently than they were intended. So you never quite know what the intention is behind a text unless sometimes you add a little bit of flavor with an emoji.
It's a flourish that can help.
Yeah.
Especially if you get the I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, so with the winking emoji or something like that can let you know that it's just a joke.
I hate you more than anything in this damn world.
So there was another study that came out, and this is an analysis. This is not a survey.
Oh.
So
Analysis says
this has to do with
What? Come on, man.
Is that Steel Panther?
No, it's freaking Triumph or something. I don't even know. It's Chuck's theme.
Oh, wow.
This
Is Chuck here?
This has to do with emojis.
Okay.
And these are the emojis most likely to go extinct.
Okay.
It was a new study that was out by Superside, and they revealed the top 10 emojis most at risk at going extinct. In America, let me see here. They found that the OK hand emoji is now the most unpopular worldwide.
Is it because of the white power thingy?
I don't know, Casey. Yeah, it's supposed to mean the 3%ers.
Yeah, well, I thought it was
like
a
that.
W for white power.
Oh, I thought it was a
Maybe it's a 3. I don't
3%er saying because it's 3. I
For
don't
years,
know.
it's just been okie dokie.
Okie dokie,
Okay,
yeah. And then it changed a few years ago, and maybe that's why.
I think there is an actual OK emoji, like the letters O and
Okay.
K. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Here, let me text it to you, Case.
So, by the way, this that motion that you do with the OK with the 3 fingers up is in diving when you're underwater.
Okay.
You use that instead of a thumbs up because thumbs up means
I'm
go up
going
to the
up.
surface.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Okay.
just a reminder if you find yourself diving someday.
Usually diving with the white supremacist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you dive, then it means something totally different.
Right.
So it's followed by that's the most unpopular worldwide, followed by the flushed face. Which
Okay.
is, and then the raising hands emoji. This one, which I assume is like the double high five thing.
Right. And then there's
Whatever that
ones that
is.
are like hallelujah. Then there's the thanks, the hands.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
this is the 2 hands, palms facing
Okay.
outward.
All right.
In America, the winking face with tongue emoji is the least popular.
So what is that technically supposed to mean?
Joking
Yeah.
is what I think. Like,
Yeah.
we all did that, didn't we?
We should call it the Jackie, like
And almost every city in the U.S., the information desk person.
What?
And this is for our video viewing audience. It's the one that's like this, hand up, palm facing up towards the ceiling, and it's a woman just standing there like that. So that is often used to represent a hair flip. and it's the most endangered, except in El Paso, Virginia Beach, Long Beach, and Tulsa, where it is still seeing use.
Tulsa?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you know about their emojis.
Hair flip.
So these are the ones that are most. It goes to
I find some of them
list.
are because of obviously they're more than often smaller on the screen, and if there's a lot of nuance to the image, you can't make out what's happening.
So I mentioned the first three, the raising hands. Then after that, number 4 is the see no evil monkey. You know, the monkey with the hands over the eyes. The victory hand, which is essentially the peace sign.
Right.
The information desk person, as I just said. The smirking face. The 2 hearts. And the heart with an arrow. And then number 10 on this list is the smiling face with sunglasses.
So a lot of stories of people who have inadvertently sent the smiling, the crying and laughing when they meant to send just the crying.
Right. Oh, that's hilarious that your aunt died.
Uncle Ed's dead?
Dude, according to USA Today, there are currently over 3,600 different emoji for an iPhone. And that's, it's insane. That's too many.
Lot. That is a lot.
Well, when they added the find feature when you're looking to, pick your appropriate emoji.
Yeah.
So, that makes it a lot easier.
Nick, a couple of weeks ago, I was at Preston's house. The Swedes were there, and they wanted some recommendations on places to go. And so Gustav hands me his phone. He goes, here, just because they were going to Boston and Maine. And so here, just text the places in here. And I start typing on this thing, and it was a Swedish keyboard. And I'm like, I don't know what this
Did it have like the weird O with a line through it and everything?
What is
wow.
that?
Yeah.
And is that like a default feature?
That was theirs. It was the first international keyboard I've ever typed on.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. All right. Survey says, let's go to something else here. All right. This is from YouGov, and it was a survey of Americans to ask who are the most popular artists.
Who are the most popular actual artists?
Yeah, visual, paint
Like
and
or
photography of all time.
Oh.
All right.
So there's a full list of them, and there's a really interesting one on here. So
of actual artists, we're talking. I'm gonna guess Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Vincent Van Gogh was third.
Okay.
On the list.
I mean,
93%.
I mean, personally, I would go like Michelangelo.
Michelangelo is number 1.
Whoa.
Okay.
How about Stan Lee?
No. Hang on a second here. No.
Okay.
All right. My next one, because I was going a little bit more contemporary, is Banksy on there?
Banksy is not on here, Casey. Not in the top 20. Anyway, number 2 is Da Vinci.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So then we have Vincent Van Gogh. Number 4,
Dolly.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
All right.
How cool is that?
That is cool.
Have you seen Philly Goat? They're a local outfitter and stuff.
Yes.
And we've done stuff with them. They have a really cool Bob Ross Phillies T-shirt. Have you seen this at all?
No.
I'll have to grab it. I'm not going to be. You're way better at describing these things. If you can find the Bob Ross Philly Goat T-shirt, it's pretty cool. I'm like, should I get that? Because it's
cool.
It is cool. I want you to take a look at it.
Philly Goat.
Philly Goat is the name of the outfit. I'm pretty sure it's Philly Goat. Press. There was a few years ago before I realized that all the Bob Ross paintings are locked away in some warehouse in Virginia.
Isn't that kind of wild? All those ones that he did over the years.
Yeah,
They're not for sale.
Yeah, they're not for sale.
But for your 40th birthday, I think I was looking. I was like, oh, Bob Ross, that would be a cool thing.
An authentic Bob Ross.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like fake Bob Rosses out there.
Right.
But
Sure.
Did they break
Rob
this?
Ross.
Did they break this list down with photographs and paint? Okay, so photographer, I'm going to guess Ansel Adams.
Ansel Adams is number 20 on the list.
20?
Yeah.
That was way off.
Who's that chick who just does the white background? All the famous musicians. Annie Leibovitz.
Annie Leibovitz. Who did
She's not on here.
The classic.
But it also includes, which is interesting, a couple of non-traditional artists like Coco Chanel is on here.
Okay, so from the design world.
At number 18, and Frank Lloyd Wright is number 9 on the list. Which is really cool.
So we still haven't gotten number 1.
No, we did. Michelangelo.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Casey got that. So after Bob Ross was Picasso, then Rockwell, then Rembrandt, then Monet at number 8. Then I told you Frank Lloyd Wright. Then you have Paul McCarthy. He was at number 10.
That's right. I'm the lesser known.
When I first looked at it, I thought it was Paul McCartney. And then Steve, Salvador Dali.
Ah, there we go.
At number 11. Andy Warhol, Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
Have you ever gone into those Thomas Kincaid stores in the mall? They're all sort of rustic, crisp. Most of them are Christmas.
No.
You know, sort of. A lot of times it's a town, and they will actually illuminate the paintings. A lot of people think they're cheesy. I think they're kind of nice.
Okay. Henri Matisse is number 15. And then you have Raphael and Donatello at 16 and 17.
Wow. So
I didn't even know those guys painted.
So Leonardo. So all 4 Ninja Turtles are in there.
Yeah.
You got Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello.
You're right,
there
Casey.
You go.
Good point.
What about Splinter? Is he in there anywhere?
He's not in
He
here.
should be.
After Donatello was Coco Chanel, and then you had
Cocoa Puffs.
Renoir is number 19, and then Ansel Adams is number 20.
So is he the number one photographer on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ansel Adams, I became familiar, Nick, with Ansel Adams. My first agent in comedy was he used a Hasselblad, which is is like a
camera?
Super technical camera, and that was he wanted to be like Ansel Adams. This thing he could not figure out.
I was we used Ansel Adams way back when, and when we were at Y100, we did this contest called Dead Guy in the Envelope, and Ansel Adams was one of the dead guys that we did. I think we did it 3 times, and so I learned a little bit more about him because I had to pick the dead guy in the envelope. I chose him, and that his real genius was not only in capturing the photo and finding a picture that would be a landscape or whatever that would be beautiful, but it was his post-photo work that he did in the dark room that was groundbreaking and incredible, and how you got all those stark contrasts and so forth. Apparently, he was a genius in that.
Do you guys have any Ansel Adams? Because I do have one in my house.
I don't.
I probably somewhere in a book.
Yeah.
He did a lot of porn stuff too, which was just beautiful.
I mean,
yeah, he did 2 girls and a mountain range.
Wow,
You know what Grand Tetons means, right? In French.
Does it mean that?
Big boobs? Big T's.
Shut up!
Yeah, literally, the téton in French is T-I-T-S.
That is slang for
That's right.
boobs.
The name of the mountain range is the Big T's.
Well, they're big and pointy.
They sure are.
And the Tetons have been there a few
in
times.
French, the Big C is how they refer to the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
Well, La Chatte is a cat, and it's also a derogatory term for a woman's private parts.
Yeah, so there was a...
Just like in English.
There's an Ansel Adams
pussycat.
I wish I could remember the name of the photo that I have, but it was one of those ones where I just saw it, and I mean, it's just a landscape. There's like an old church and like kind of like a cemetery, like in the foreground. But it's just, to me, like...
It's mesmerizing.
It's mesmerizing because there's so many things in this picture that just will pop for, at any given moment.
Yeah, and then there's one I have that it is nothing. And this is a card game. Every participant is a dog. Yeah, it is amazing.
Wait, what card game are they playing? Gin?
Poker.
Poker? That makes more sense.
So thought that was an interesting list. So let's move on to another survey. YouGov asked 1,000 Americans about the restaurant customer behaviors they find to be the most unacceptable. And I have that list. I have the
most
survey results.
Unacceptable behaviors.
Yes, 10 worst behaviors of restaurant customers. So this would be from the perspective of the people who work in the restaurant industry.
The servers, yes.
Yeah. Did you guys ever serve?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I cooked.
I did not.
But I did not serve, and I washed dishes, too.
It's a great job to have. I mean,
it is.
I really liked it. I learned a lot. I think it's especially it curbs your own behavior when you go to a restaurant. I think you treat servers better if you have once been a server yourself.
Agreed.
All right, let's see if you agree with some of these survey results. I'll start with the top one and kind of work our way down.
At number 1.
Number 1 is people who say they won't pay for a dish that they didn't like, but they ate anyway.
I can see where that would be frustrating. To me, if you really want to make your point, don't eat the dish you say you don't like.
Yeah. Well, also, listen, if you order, and I'm a victim of this all the time. Ordering something because it looks good on the menu, and then when you get, it's not that it was prepared bad.
It was photographed poorly.
No, it's just that I didn't like it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like this was a
But
chef's...
you're not going to send it back because...
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, because I don't. But if it was not cooked right. Or if I ordered a steak well done and it was pink, or the other way around, I would send that back. But I don't like it.
I know. How inclined are you? Because I sometimes just let it roll. I don't.
Yeah. So
I don't get all flustered if it's not 100%.
Here's a good example. Kathy had run into this guy. This was years after the event, and she told this story on the air before. He was a chef at Smith & Wollensky, and I'd never been there before. And they're famous for their steaks,
right?
And I wanted to get an awesome steak. And Rochelle and I went there for dinner. Well, the guy found out he was a fan of the show, and he found out that I was there, and he was going to be cooking my steak. And I guess it made him nervous.
Oh, no.
And I remember, and like I told you, I didn't find this out until years later. We had the steak. I had it, and I'm like, this is really not that good.
Yeah.
And I was so underwhelmed by it. We never went back again. And I never told anybody that either. I didn't say anything to you. Kathy's like, I ran into this guy. She was out doing one of our haunted events. And she's like, I ran into this guy. He used to be a chef at Smith & Wollensky, and he told me to send his apologies to
Wow,
me.
man. It haunted him.
He knew he sent out an inferior steak to me.
Oh, man.
I know, right?
And he lived with it for that amount of time afterwards.
For like years
Sitting
later.
up there with this on a stool with a rope around his neck.
You know what I did, Steve? I ate about 75% of it, and I didn't complain. I didn't say this doesn't taste good.
Yeah,
send it back.
I think everyone has a bad night now and then, and if it's manifestly the absolute wrong thing you ordered or whatever, of course, then you do that. But I mean, if it's in the ballpark.
Yeah, I think I've only sent something back maybe once or twice in my life. So number 2 on this list of the worst behaviors of restaurant customers, allowing children to roam freely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, come on now.
Little rugrats.
The survey also revealed that people who debate menu prices with the staff.
Menu prices?
So that happened to my daughter. She worked at a coffee shop in Wildwood, and listen, it was expensive, but people would complain. She was 16 years old. Hey, I'm 16. I'm just slinging some Joe here. I didn't make the prices. Go talk to somebody else who's.
Let me go back and talk to the manager. What's it going to take to convince you to purchase this muffin?
Right. Another one is stay past the restaurant's closing time. 83% said that's the most annoying thing. Here's another one. Snap their fingers to get the waiter's attention.
Oh, God, how rude.
Dude, okay, so one time I was at this restaurant with my buddy, and his family was there, and it was a crowded restaurant, and it was cacophony. There was a lot of noise going on, and the server came by, and my buddy Will had wanted a beer and forgot to say something to the server, and I just wanted to get her attention before, and she started walking away.
Yeah.
And I didn't do this I do this all the time.
Right.
I go,
yeah.
I go, hey.
Right. You do.
My buddy Will's daughter, Emily, turned to me and she's like, Preston, you cannot do that. She is not a dog. And I was like,
okay. There's a nicer way you could have said that.
I'm like, no, I deserved. And I apologized to the girl later. I'm like, I did not mean to do that. It's just my natural inclination.
Right.
If I'm trying to get somebody's attention across the room,
I do it with all my slaves.
Yeah, but we'll take a beer. Get on that.
Yeah.
So here's another one.
Get along.
Bring outside food and drinks into the restaurant.
Oh man, I saw this guy try and do this one time. He pulled out a Pepsi from a shopping bag. The owner of the restaurant, he went over. He's like, dude, no, like this is not how this works.
We sell that stuff here.
We do sell it, and it's not super expensive.
Number 7 on this list is show up 15 minutes late to a reservation.
Yeah.
Yep.
You call.
Yes.
Make
the call. I'm en route. And then you lie about how far away you are.
Yes.
Let's see. Leave a mess at the table, such as spilled drinks or food crumbs.
I clean up a little bit.
So do we. Rochelle and I, we stack. We stack everything.
It's called pre-bussing, right?
Yeah. I do that. And it's also because Nick, I served. I was a busboy. I served. I also cleaned up the tables after like lunch and dinner at college. So
I've seen it 1,000.
So because of that, I try to make it as streamlined for the workers as possible.
Sometimes you look at people's tables and it's like, what? What the hell are you doing here?
I remember being a parent of a young child and struggling with that sometimes because kids just inevitably are going to make a huge mess. And so the only thing that you can really do is just leave a bigger tip. Because you know that the kid's just going to leave nuggets under the high chair and whatever the hell else. It's going to be a mess. And I feel bad about it, but also I want to go out to eat every now and then.
All right, so Press, you were talking about
That's when you go.
Yeah.
I left you a bigger tip.
Hey,
I left you a bigger.
hey.
Hey, I left you a bigger tip.
Talking to you.
You point to it on the ground like it is a dog. You're like, hey, you want to eat that? You want to eat that? So I want to ask about showing up late for a reservation, because sometimes when you have a bigger party, they won't seat the whole table until everybody arrives.
Yep.
I get more mad at those people that show up late. You know, I'm like sitting there just in the lobby, just waiting for so-and-so to show up.
Right.
So we can actually sit down.
Wearing a silver tuxedo.
Or something like that. I don't know. Like at a restaurant in Chicago. While we wait for Nick and Andrea.
And Casey decided to wear his tuxedo.
I paid for it.
I know.
You're going to get my
All right.
money's worth.
Number 9 on this list of most annoying or worst behaviors of restaurant customers: occupy a table for an extended period during busy hours.
So I don't like once the meal is done, I want to leave. I don't want to loiter. A lot of the pre-meal is the conversation. Hey, we're waiting, we're talking, now we're eating, let's go. I'm acutely aware that they're looking to turn over that table, and that the waiter or waitress working the table can have another opportunity to make money. And I don't want to just park there, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, but you're a naturally impatient person too. You're short attention span. You're like, I'm done. We're out. Let's go.
I'm ADD all over the place.
Yeah.
I
There's
admit
some
it.
TV to watch at home right now.
That's right.
But I mean, it's like there's like, can we leave now?
There's a great scene in The Bear where there's they need to turn over this table, and these people are just hanging too long. And Richie comes over. He's like, "Hey, you guys want to see the kitchen?"
Yes.
And then as they take him to the kitchen, they turn the table over. Done. So, and then the last one on this list is customers who flirt with the staff is one of the worst behaviors of restaurant customers, according to people who.
How often do you openly flirt with the staff when you're out with your family?
with your family. Hey, baby.
We're married, but it's open. So
we've got that kind of thing going on.
Pretty sure that Hooters girl liked me.
You're a fine cut of beef.
There are people out there like that when somebody's like, "Hey, doll," and I'm like, "Oh,
no,
to the server."
It's sugar teas.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think in their mind that they're being disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's like maybe a generational thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody really likes to be called doll.
No.
Situation.
Especially that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Casey, is that all we have time for? We got an interview at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we got to shut down the survey for now because we do have joining us. The movie Twisters is coming out, and it's apparently it's doing pretty well, Rotten Tomatoes so far.
That's the word, yes.
And we're going to have one of the actors from the movie, Brandon Perea, joining us, as well as Jim Florentine. We're going to segue right into him afterwards. So we're going to take a break, come back, and get to both of those interviews. So stay with us. We'll return shortly. She will have to be weighed before her Christmas meal, per a juicy new report hailing from the royal expert Ingrid Seward. Apparently, every member of the royal family, including Harry, Prince William, and Kate Middleton, must be weighed before and after dinner on Christmas Day.
All right. After dinner, and do they get to poop first?
That I don't know about. But
what is this about, this bizarre thing?
It's a tradition. Okay, apparently the Queen asks guests to weigh themselves to ensure they're being well fed.
Oh, okay.
And once weighed, the guests must enter the dining room in order of seniority. Once seated, the head chef carves the turkey, and paper hats are donned, but not by the Queen. So everybody has to wear
Look at us wearing our paper hats, and it's so much fun. Where is the scale so we can see if we've put a lot of food into our tummies? Oh, look at I folded a flap on my paper hat. Oh, what fun.
So much fun.
Yes. Later on, we'll go out to a pit and murder some peasants.
Oh, my God. Damn. I've seen the paper hat thing.
Christmas. I love Christmas. For the annual slaughtering of the peasants.
In a pit.
In a pit with our paper hats. And the one who catches my paper hat will be spared.
Oh, that's a nice tradition.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Congratulations on your adroit paper hat catching skills.
Oh, my God.
You're free to go.
Now for the rest of them, line up.
We'll really the only way to enjoy Lorenzo's Pizza on the whole is to have some assistance. And we are doing that via a dental device, correct? Yeah. Okay, so Casey and Nick are going to put these lip spreaders in. That if you've ever gone to the dentist and you have to get some dental work done, they do this so it pulls your lips up and your cheeks out to the side so they can get in there and work really well.
Yeah.
So it's,
and it'll for eating purposes, Preston, it gives you maximum coverage of the pie.
Yeah, and my favorite is pepperoni pizza.
Your favorite is
pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza.
I like pineapple.
You like pineapple?
Pineapple.
Okay.
I also like mushroom.
Excuse me?
Mushroom.
Mushrooms.
Mushroom. Yeah, mushroom.
All right, so is this, Preston, the specifics of this contest, are we talking the quickest to eat one slice fully?
I don't know.
I don't know.
How about the entire pie?
Let's just see how it goes.
Let's just see how it goes.
All right.
And we'll see who ate it best.
All right.
Okay. You guys ready?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, lick your lips.
All right, raise your pizza case. Get ready.
We have a split screen shot. By
Dude,
the way, you can watch this on Facebook.
Don't make me laugh.
All right, do what, Marissa? All right, cheers your pizzas. All right, cheers. And on your mark, get set, and go. All right, here's the first bite.
Oh, my God.
Casey you have to let gravity take effect, right?
Oh my God! Look at Nick. As if Nick couldn't get any more gross when he ate.
Because your lips are not assisting.
All right.
I love you, Saj. I love you. Yeah. I love you.
Start eating.
He loves you. He loves you. Nick looks like oh my God.
Don't make me
He can't lick. Nick is laughing his ass off. Oh, my God.
This is
Casey,
disgusting.
do you need something to drink?
I got it.
Okay, you got it? All right, so... Oh, Nick, did you take it out?
Uh-uh.
No.
Oh, okay, all right. Casey's going to take a drink. It's like a sprinkler.
It's disgusting.
Nick, here's some water if you need it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Try not to get any of it on the,
Don't laugh,
on the
Nick, now.
equipment. Don't get it on the equipment.
That was... Casey looks like he's looking at a UFO.
Hey, Maris.
Oh, my God,
I don't want him to
Jesus
knock
is
that
up
over.
there.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Okay.
Nick's wiping his
He's
mouth.
wiping his mouth. Casey, I noticed
Thank you,
you're using the gravity method. You lean back.
Yes. Yeah, this is not her radio.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Nick is leaning forward, which I find kind of wild. All right, now he's tilting back. You got to let gravity take over. This looks like an inspiring story
Oh my God!
of two guys born without lips.
Oh my God!
It actually, Steve, it looks like the sequel to Hellraiser.
It does.
You know what, though?
What?
It's really delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
It's Lorenzo's, of course.
How far along are you guys?
I'm almost done, Steve.
Now, Casey's about halfway. He's eaten more than you think he has. So
we want to do it to completion because I think they might hemorrhage.
I don't know. Case, what do you think?
I
Don't talk with food in your mouth.
Have more water, Case.
Actually, that'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
So Case is gonna get a simple water.
Kathy. Got anything in my teeth?
I'm sorry we're doing such a visual thing on the radio, but this is just hilarious.
This
Casey,
is my favorite sweatshirt.
it's his favorite sweatshirt.
Did you get some on your favorite sweatshirt?
Damn it! It's an absolute mess. I tell you what,
It makes you really appreciate.
keep going.
Oh, it fell out. There.
I know they kind of slip out every now and then.
What?
I have no
They
idea.
kind of slip out every now and then. They slip out of your house
Slip out of there.
every now and then.
Say,
You say?
yeah.
My dental.
It doesn't affect your yoga cards.
It doesn't affect your what?
Your yoga cards.
Yeah, your
Your
yoga.
Yoga cards.
Yoga hearts?
What?
Yogurt hearts.
Yoga cards.
Oh, your vocal cords.
I thought you said yoga fans.
All right, keep it going. I think actually Nick is closing in on perhaps
I was
finishing.
so hungry.
Yeah.
I think are Casey's lip spreaders a little bit bigger than Nick's? Yeah.
No, I think
His lips are almost pulled back to his ears.
I thought maybe Casey's mouth was a little smaller than Nick's, so it looks like that.
Nick is like a wood chipper.
Ew, Nick is drooling all over the place.
You can actually feed full pieces of lumber into Nick's mouth.
Not a delicate flower.
My lip spreaders I got from a dentist.
He got his lip spreaders from a dentist.
This is legit.
All right, we're closing in.
You know what, though? I would pay good money to see Kathy do this, to be honest.
Oh,
I would pay
with her perfect teeth.
Good money. That's a pair. They're clean. All right, just going to put them in. Why not? And have at least a bite. All right, Kathy. Oh, I can't believe you agreed to do this. All right. All right, she's taking a bite. Let's see.
Look at Kathy's teeth are perfect. Look at
They are perfect. They're absolutely perfect.
This is like that special prom night, Kathy.
How does it taste?
It's stuck.
It's
because you can't assist the swallow.
She actually sounds very articulate with that. She's shaking her head to try to get it down into her throat. And there we go. Nice job, Kath. Not bad at all.
You want some water?
Yeah, I can't believe she did that. Did you guys finish? Casey's finished it.
No, he's not. He cheated. I called no fair.
What did he do?
He threw it in the trash.
Oh, he
can.
did.
All right.
Look at this. Look at this. That's a cheater.
We're going to Secaucus for the film. All right.
Preston, it looks like a history chance.
Yes, it does. Stand up. Let's see that.
Preston,
there you go.
I pissed my pants.
You did piss your pants. Okay, well, you know what?
Declare a winner, or is it a tie?
I think it's a tie. What do you guys think, right?
I mean, they both did a phenomenal job. Though Casey's human sprinkler impression was quite impressive.
I think you guys should kiss. I really do. I think it's. Oh my God. That is repulsive.
Food all over.
Oh man. You all right, buddy?
Yeah. You know what, though?
What?
I got to take my hair sweatshirt off to reveal my favorite pizza.
Oh, it says Delco. We're happy to have him here, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Rock is here.
That's how I'm coming on stage tonight, right there.
That's your song, right?
That's going to bring you out on
Take the
stage.
yeah.
I like it, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to Philadelphia.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
of course. You enjoying your butternut squash soup over there?
Butternut squash soup. Who knew?
Yeah. For breakfast.
What's the restaurant downstairs? Harvest.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Butternut squash. Kind of tastes like sweet potato.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You know, now there's endorsement deals available.
Yes. Hey, I'm Tony Rock here for butternut squash.
Just in general.
Nothing gives you comedy cred like butternut squash.
And this is how you sell it to men. And fellas, she'll dig it too. Have you noticed that every commercial when they want to sell something to men, it's like it'll do this energy, vitality, whatever, and then it's fellas, she'll dig it too.
Well, what I love is
like, oh, girl's gonna like it. I gotta get it.
I love it when they do you'll be a stallion in the boardroom and the bedroom.
They did like those the Just for Men hair color things.
Oh,
So I used to color my beard because it's totally different color than my hair, and it turns out I was allergic to it. So I get these rashes on my face. But those commercials were like,
ladies will love it too.
You'll have a rash on your face, but chicks will dig it too.
Yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat, man.
That's funny.
Wow. So you're in town. You're doing Helium Comedy Club. We are happy to have you back here. We were just off air talking about the show, and Steve, you and Casey.
It was Living Biblically was the show. It was on CBS. It was produced by one of the members of the Big Bang Theory,
Johnny Galecki.
Yes. And I thought, and Casey thought as well, it was based on a popular book about a guy who decided to live a year of his life based on the Bible.
Like 100% according to the Bible for one calendar year. Yes.
Right. And so you were in the cast. I thought it was a solid cast, likable ensemble, a fun show.
But it was an amazing cast. It was Cameron Manheim, Ian Gomez, Johnny, Jay Ferguson.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Good people.
I just think people weren't ready to have the Bible in their face every Monday at 9 o'clock at night. Like every episode was the Bible says, and that was the episode. The Bible says, and then the show got canceled after 13 episodes. And then CBS came right back with another show.
God liked me on Facebook. Friended me on Facebook
something like that.
or something. Yeah. It's almost the exact same show, except it's a drama.
Yeah.
So
that always happens though. One show has to take the bullet so that another show can get through.
Well, let's see how this one does. It's doing well, but I thought that's got to suck because you've been in the business for a while,
right?
Everything seems to be firing. You have a good slot, and CBS is known for their
CBS. Yes.
CBS.
My last sitcom was on CW. Totally different world.
Different world.
CBS, man. I was thinking I'm looking forward to Super Bowl tickets. I'm like, I'm gonna be with the cast sitting there like, hey, we're on the big screen at the Super Bowl. I was looking forward to all of that. They pulled it. No Super Bowl for me.
I mean, but now you're used to obviously shows that come and go. It's the nature of entertainment in the business.
Right, yeah.
But I would be, and I think you have every right to be pissed because I also think you give it a little bit more. You give it a little bit more breathing room. People forget, and you don't see it anymore these days. Seinfeld struggled for like a year and a half.
Seinfeld was like damn near canceled. And then they said, let's give it a few more weeks. And then for some reason it turned around.
It turned around.
I really think that show biblically would have been a super hit.
By the way, couldn't you port that over? Couldn't you give that a chance on perhaps, I don't know, on the Hallmark Channel or something where you maybe would find an audience?
Oh, after an all-new Touched by an Angel.
Touched by an Angel.
An all-new one. And fellas, she'll dig it too.
That should have been the same, right?
I brought Dave Chappelle on stage one night in L.A. I do a birthday show every year in L.A. at the Laugh Factory, and Dave Chappelle stopped by. Just came by.
Oh, wow.
Rooms packed, and people are like, hey, the Laugh Factory has a great show going on. It's Tony's birthday, and Dave pops in.
Guess that we have on board, so he's pulled up this one.
Of course. This makes sense. Yeah.
Gotta give some twist. Our next guest is in the movie Twisters, and he plays the character of Boone.
Yes.
Amongst an all-star cast, and it's opening tomorrow, and it's getting really good reviews.
Certified fresh.
Let's welcome Brandon Perea to our show this morning.
What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for having me, Philly. What's up?
Oh, we're good, Brandon. You got to be excited, man. I mean, the big day's tomorrow.
Oh, man, I'm so amped for people to watch this movie, man. It's been a little bit over a year in the making, and I'm just so proud of it. And these tornadoes are massive, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We have a saying here on our show because Casey, our producer, there was a guy that he worked with, and when the original Twister came out, what was it he would say, Casey?
He said, those tornadoes were real.
So it's a phrase we use from time to time.
He was convinced they were using real tornadoes throughout the movie.
But at that time, when that movie came out, the effects were groundbreaking. And imagine this many years later, it's got to be pretty incredible. Have you seen, I'm sure you guys had a premiere already, right, Brandon?
Yeah, we had a premiere. We've been hosting screenings all over the world. It's been being shared slowly but surely. And then, tomorrow's the big day. Huge day, massive day.
It's funny because it's not quite a direct sequel. It's not, it's sort of in the family of these kind of movies, correct? With a nod to the past movie.
Yeah, that is correct. It's like a new chapter of just new age storm chasing with these all new characters, all fresh characters, no characters from the old one or in this one. And it's just a new fresh chapter in the same similar world.
Yeah.
Of the
The one thing to make it, I think, from movie to movie is that the concept of the Dorothy, the thing they're using to track the tornadoes, correct? The device that they had in the first one.
There's little callbacks. If
right.
you watch the original, there's things that you'll appreciate as a fan, but there's nothing that has to affect their storyline with ours. And it's just a separate film. Like you could watch both separately.
So this is cool, and this is a big. Your film career is relatively young, and you've done a couple things like Nope, but this is Steven Spielberg behind this. This is, I think, the original story from the first movie is Michael Crichton. So there's a big heavyweight machine behind it. When you're on a set like this, where they're recreating the storms, and I assume they're using things like jet engines and all that stuff, I assume the level and potential for injury has to get pretty high.
Oh, man, here's the thing. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so if I couldn't do my own stunt, I'd be sad type of deal.
Really?
So I was ready to face it, truly. And yeah, you said Steven Spielberg as well. What's funny is that I did a movie. I did Nope, that movie, and I was going around for events, and I saw Spielberg in person, and I was like, "Oh my God, Steven Spielberg's there!" And then my partner was with me, and they're like, "Go say something," and I was like, "No, what am I going to say to Spielberg?" And I'm going to find out he ended up watching Nope like a week later, or I found that out a week later that he already watched Nope, and then I was like, "Oh my God, I could have said hi, man!" Like,
you had something to talk about. Yeah,
exactly. And then now I got to work with them in Twister, so it all came full circle. Like that happened the week after that, and I was like, "Oh, thank God. Okay, at least I'm around Steven Spielberg."
Yeah. So I know Glenn Powell's from Texas. I believe he is from there. So obviously he's seen his share of actual tornadoes. I assume you guys trained with some actual storm chasers, and if so, did you actually see the real element?
Oh, dude, we got so close, man. Me, Glenn, and Daisy flew to Oklahoma this past tornado season, and we got to enter some crazy storms, but no touchdowns. But we got close. We got so close, and I'm going to go this next storm chasing season. I'll go for sure and try to see one with my eyes. I've been like around tornado weather, but I need to physically see.
Yeah.
Are the people who do this for a living, since you were around some of them as you guys were looking for this stuff, are the people that do this for a living a unique breed?
Oh, for sure. And here's the thing. There's so many different characters within storm chasing that you wouldn't expect. Even outside of storm chasing, like you could just be in a 7-Eleven in Oklahoma, and then people will just be talking about tornado. Like their tornado knowledge is insane.
Yeah.
Like you'll be in 7-Eleven in line, and then someone's like, "You guys see the mesocyclone earlier?" And I'm like, "What?" Mesocyclone?
Well, the dynamic of the first one, like Philip C. Hoffman and their crew, they were the non-corporate meteorologists, and I know you guys are in this. You're part of that sort of younger
ragtag group
that's out there and stuff. So you're out there, you're learning that, and you're doing all this, and do you think you have a good working knowledge of tornadoes as it is right now?
Oh, for sure. One of the best things that I learned about tornadoes is the meteorologist's cell phone number, so I could text him, check the radar for me whenever I need it. But no, jokes aside, yeah, I got to learn so much about tornadoes, so much more, and it's so intriguing, actually, in how much is unknown still to this day. Like
it's amazing. It is. I mean, listen, the movie is exciting, and they're calling it an adrenaline rush, and the director has a good pedigree when it comes to handling stuff like this. But we're talking about the people out there. This is a life and death thing every day. Having to deal with this, and that's where, and a lot of people don't. The first movie had sort of a horror element too, because they're sort of monsters. These things, right? I mean, that's the way the people have to react to them.
For sure, yeah. The original Twister, that's one of the first films that truly haunted me as a kid but it also got me intrigued. Like, I'm like, these things exist, you know? So I started reading books on tornadoes and lightning, and also, for some reason, I don't know, when I was a stubborn kid, I saw a book on hurricanes, and I was like, not interested. I'm liking these tornado things.
You're a tornado guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned
full circle.
You mentioned being an adrenaline junkie and doing a little bit of research on you. We saw that you're rock climbing, you're a BMX guy, but you also have a background in something called jam skating.
Yes.
That I was not familiar with. It's essentially break dancing on roller skates. You still do this?
Yeah. That roller skating will be a part of my life forever. Break dancing will be a part of my life forever. Music moves me, so I was jamming out to Weezer as I was waiting for you guys.
We were watching some of your moves. It's pretty impressive stuff. Yeah, there's a video. I don't know where it looks like it's a little bit older, but I mean it's pretty athletic.
Oh yeah, man! I could do backflips on roller skates, head spins forever. I'm a weirdo properly.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you quickly about working with Jordan Peele and Nope, because it's funny. I watched that movie initially and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And then I find myself watching it more, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And I don't want to give anything away, but when you finally realize, what's going on, it's pretty amazing. For you to work with Jordan Peele and to be on that set, which is kind of a love letter to Hollywood, what was that like?
Oh, it was incredible. That was a real shift for me in my career, was really getting that shot from Jordan. And I'm so glad that he just had faith in me to really just be in his movie. And he also rewrote the script to appease the character that I brought to the table, which is insane to even say to this day. But yeah, being on that set, it was a massive set that honestly helped me prep for something like Twisters, because the scale is only rising when it comes to just how big these sets are. And yeah, working with Jordan was incredible. We were so in sync, and it's just great to be a part of a big movie with literally one of my favorite actors alive, Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Also one of the funniest actors and just great humans is Kiki Palmer, so talented as well, and Stephen Yeun and Michael Wincott. Just to be surrounded by those absolute legends was truly, I call it the miracle project. And that leading to something like Twisters with Spielberg producing, Lee Isaac Chung directing, Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones, Anthony Ramos. It's just so stacked where I'm like, these are both miracle projects, and there has to be some sort of Holy Spirit looking over me, because this is just...
No, man, listen.
I'm pinching myself, truly.
It's a movie that is, and certainly the intent is to get people into the theaters to see it. I know that Tom Cruise saw it, supposedly that's the word, and loved it.
Oh, dude, that is it. Maverick, baby. That is dude,
awesome.
I was wigging out. Like I know, like him and Glenn are like close friends and whatnot. And, like I've heard so many great Tom stories. And if you guys ever have a chance to try his coconut bundt cake, take the opportunity.
Yes, yeah, we know. We know. We've tried to order. Every time we try to order the thing from goldbelly.com, they're out of them. But yeah, they're the legendary.
Yo, dude, I need to get on this list somehow, man. I need to figure it out. I need to pay someone to put me on this list.
I love it. All right, Brandon, we wish you luck, man. It's in theaters tomorrow, Twisters, and it's looking to be a big one at the box office. Thanks for checking in this morning.
Cheers, y'all. Thank you so much for the time. And watch it on the biggest screen that you can. IMAX, Dolby, 40X. Go shake in the chair. Go with your friends and family. Everyone's going to love it.
You got it. Brandon Perea, guys. Take care, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love that energy.
And I do want to have one of those coconut cakes. I'd forgotten about that.
So I tried to order the company that is Goldbelly, and they sell all this stuff and send it all over the world, and that's what they're known for, these kind of really high-level cakes. You could never get that one damn cake because of the Tom Cruise thing.
Do you think it would be easier to just become friends with Tom Cruise?
I think it would be at this point.
That way we could maybe get one?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going from the Xfinity mobile guest line to Zoom because our buddy's on the line. He is performing tomorrow night at the Keswick Theater along with Tom Cotter and Tammy Pescatelli. Oh, wait, we need some metal. We definitely need some metal before we bring him on. Yeah, there we go. And we are welcoming our good friend Jim Florentine this morning. Hey, Jim.
What's going on, guys?
Just doing our thing, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you in a while.
We were looking at your tour schedule. I mean, it was funny because we talked to you. We always talk to you. You're a regular on the show, friend of the show. And I remember a couple of years ago when nothing was happening. And now the schedule is just jammed up. Do you enjoy the road? Is it just part and parcel of what you have to do? Or where do you stand on being on tour this intensively?
You go back and forth. Sometimes, I love still being up on stage. So just to travel and get there and everything is a kind of a pain here and there. But that's my job. Look, I used to cut lawns down in Florida in August in 110-degree heat, like 25 a day.
Right.
For like $8 an hour. So I always look back at that. I can never complain that my plane is delayed 3 hours and I got to sit there and watch a movie on my phone.
Yeah. You know what I love now about getting on a plane and getting ready to fly somewhere is, and I've told these guys this many times before, I'm like, maybe one of these viral freakouts is going to happen while I'm on the plane. I'm hoping I get to see a show like that, you know?
Have you ever, with all your traveling, have you ever had an experience, Jim, like that?
No, I never have, and I would love to, too. My phone's always ready to record, and I want to make funny comments as it's going on. Like, listen to this guy. This guy, he's in a miserable marriage, and that's why he's taken out on this flight attendant.
Dude, I got your next show, Jim Florentine, Air Marshal.
Oh, yes! Oh, my God.
There you go, man. It's a Crank Yankers Plus.
So you and Tom Cotter and Tammy Pescatelli, is this one-off for the three of you? Or you guys, it's the No Apologies Comedy Tour, but is this a group traveling together?
Yeah, we do. We do probably about 10, 12 dates a year in different theaters around the country. So, we'll come to Pennsylvania on Friday to do the show. The Keswick is great. I've been there a million times. I've performed there. Plus, seeing bands there is a great venue.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Is this the lineup? Is because you made the news a while back, and I'm just kind of pulling it out of the memory closet here, but there was a run of dates that was canceled just arbitrarily. It made the news. Do you know? Was it Seattle?
Yeah, it was in Seattle. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was just seemed out of the blue, and I kept seeing you all over the news. I'm like, did you rob a bank or something? Why is Jim all over the place? And what was all that about?
I got booked at a club in Seattle, and then like 2 weeks later, the tickets were on sale, and they sent an email and said, "Listen, we can't have him because our progressive values don't align with his stand-up comedy." So they canceled the dates.
Kurt Metzger and a couple others as well.
It was me, Kurt Metzger, Dave Smith, and Louis J. Gomez. We all have the same agent, so he booked us in the club.
Right.
The club's like, "Yeah, we want you," and then 2 weeks later, they took all our dates away.
Let me ask you: when a club, because you're a higher profile comedian, is there some sort of percentage that you still get, or is it that's it? You're SOL with the money. I mean, in other words, because you're taking a chunk of your calendar and committing it to this, where you could have had something else. Is there some sort of money you get back from that?
No, I mean, the date wasn't until October, and it happened in like March.
All right.
So it was no big deal. And then what happened was there was a club about 30 miles away in Tacoma, Washington, said, "We'll take all you guys." So we all got booked there that weekend.
Yeah.
The weekends we were supposed to do. But yeah, usually sometimes you'll get a deposit. But I was laughing when I got canceled. I was like, you know what? I finally made it. I made it. I'm pushing buttons.
Yeah, it's almost better now. You got to start. You're all over the friggin' news. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So with all that, and obviously, we do research on you. You coming on, we check up on things. The thing that always comes up is that metal show, and we've talked about what is the current status of it, because you've done the podcast now, you've done the video podcast. You guys can all be remote. What is the status of the show as it stands right now? Is it just a passion project that pops up here and there?
Yeah, we do a show on YouTube called That Rocks. It's pretty much that metal show on Zoom. It's just us three with a guest or whatever. But as far as bringing that metal show back, we have no say over it. It's Viacom, the company. We basically got 5. People always go, "You should bring the show back, go on Netflix." Yeah. It's not up to like the hosts or the actors of a show. You know what I mean? That's like, and people are like, "You guys were great on that show. You should start it again." It's like someone getting fired at a corporate job, and then all of his friends like, "You were great at that job. Just show up at that job again on Monday. They'll let you in the building."
Yeah,
we're locked out of the building, us three, and then let us back in.
Yeah.
I was thinking of you this morning, Jim. I saw that Guar released a new song. It is it's their cover of "I Am Ken" from the Barbie movie. It's "I Am Guar." I've never seen Guar. I've seen clips and pieces of them, but what's your take on those guys?
I love it. I mean, the music is a little, I could do without it, listening to it, studio versions. But when you go see the live show, it's amazing. It's just, fake blood splurting all over the place and crazy stuff on stage. They're cutting people's heads off and these monsters come out and... Yeah, you sit in the front row and you just know you're going to get this like fake blood all over you.
Jim, I've seen them a couple times at like horror and monster conventions, like this counterculture stuff. And there was one time where they weren't even up on a stage. They were like, people just kind of were gathered around, and the spray of blood, because you're right. I mean, they put on like, it's just way over the top, but people loved it. And they have like large, like Muppet type Little Shop of Horror things that they're doing, in the moment. It's impressive.
It is. But you always want to get there. Like, that's the show you want to get. As soon as the doors open, get right to the front, because you'll get sprayed in like the front, like first 10 rows with blood.
Right. And to that point, and it's Casey and I were talking earlier. He's listening to the new Fish album, and he was talking about how he's really impressed by this album. He's a big Fish fan. I was saying, I'm always been sort of a moderate Stones fan, and recently, the most recent album generated 2 of what are now my favorite Stone songs. What is happening in the world of metal? What's happening now that has you excited? Is there anything, or is it still pretty much nostalgic?
It's pretty much still nostalgic. There's a band called Sleep out there that I don't know, they're kind of like a ghost light. Mm-hmm. I'm not really into. But speaking of the Stones, and I was just talking about this yesterday. Remember about 30 years ago, everyone made that joke about the Stones. Oh, steel wheelchair tour.
Yeah.
They're They're in diapers up there now. Mick's 81 years old, and they're still selling out and playing amazing. But 30, when they were in their 50s, like they're old. Why are they still on tour? They're so old. Who wants to see those old men?
Yeah, there's a great, and we played the clip. We had Jimmy Fallon on, and it's that line from Almost Famous, his tour, his agent line, and he says, You think Mick Jagger's going to be up on stage when he's 50?
And by the way, that joke is from a movie that came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So that joke itself is 24 years
Well,
old.
what's crazy about that is you will see these others like nostalgic acts, right? Like anything from like Motown, they'll do these shows at like the Ocean City Music Pier, and it seems like, oh, this is like a nostalgia act. They're all the same age as the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones are still putting on. You know what I mean? Like it's still a viable concert. There's nothing like
it's not a tribute act.
It's not a tribute. Yeah,
it's the Stones still kicking ass as the Stones. It's not somebody going out there pretending to be what Mick Jagger was in 1977.
It's true. Every comedian would like in the late 90s, early 2000s, they all had these old Rolling Stones or old jokes.
Yeah.
And that was the big joke. It's then I always thought maybe at what point will I retire? But when you see Mick Jagger up there for 2.5 hours running around at 81 years old, I'm like, I can't complain if I'm just standing on stage telling jokes at when I'm 70.
So for you as a parent, does it make it harder and harder to make the case that narcotics are bad for you? When you see Keith Richards up on stage doing all this stuff at this point, I mean, they've got that, what they used to call it, Mickey Mantle blood?
Mickey Mantle gene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is. My son sees my friends like acting really dumb when they're drunk. So I think he knows. I go, You don't want to be like that person.
Right.
I go, just remember these days when that guy was acting like an idiot.
Yeah.
He got into trouble by his wife and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Look, he's turning 14 in August. I was already drinking, smoking weed at that point. So. Yeah. I'm glad he's not at that point yet.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. I remember, Jim, my kids were in middle school, and my wife had gotten word that somebody got busted at the school with marijuana or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And I went, wait a minute.
Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing when I think back at junior high when a joint was discovered. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, so
there was tons of it in my school.
When I was in high school, our old church burned down, and we would go and like hang out there and like go try and sneak in. I remember going there one time, and there was a tin toker back there, and I was like, do you remember tin tokers? You made a bowl out of tinfoil.
Oh, yeah. I didn't call it a tin toker. We used the can.
Okay.
It was the old Coke can. Absolutely. We could go on for hours.
Oh,
on
the
this,
memories. Yeah.
All right, so your son is 14. I remember he hopped up on stage when you were playing our Camp Out for Hunger one time and told a few jokes. And I think after that, I remember we talked to you another time, and you said he'd kind of phased out of maybe looking at a career as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he went into early retirement with stand-up.
Early retirement.
What's he into at 14?
Basketball. He plays basketball, a bunch of different leagues, and he's hanging out with his friends, and that's basically what he wants to do.
All right.
I don't want to push this lifestyle on him.
Sure.
It's, you miss a lot of things. You're working every weekend. You're staying at a Holiday Inn off a highway in the middle of Ohio for 4 straight days.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a show with nothing to do. So whatever he wants to do, but he's not into it at all right now.
Have you been roped into helping out in the coaching department? Because that happens quite a bit in youth sports.
Oh, yeah. I'm his rec basketball coach.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have any business coaching basketball?
No, I have no idea. My thing is just cover the best kid. Whoever the best kid is on this team, you cover him. The second best kid covers the second best kid. And it works.
Yeah. When has that ever failed to work?
It doesn't, because it's like in rec, there's like 2 kids on the court at all times that don't even know how to play. They can't even shoot. Why cover those kids? They're never going to score. So I say triple team the best kid. But I'm supposed to play a 2-3. I go, forget the 2-3. If that
this
one
is
kid can
this
score
is
a
real
basket,
life here, man.
How old are you? Trust me.
You're so right. I remember in Little League, I was outfield. They put me in the outfield. It's like I could have not shown up for most of the games, and no one would have known that I was not there. Because in Little League, they can't clear the infield.
Well, and also when I coach like third base in Little League, like I always sent them home because the kid in the outfield has to make the catch. B, that kid then has to make a perfect throw. And then C, the kid at home plate has to catch it.
Yeah.
And these are children, you know? And,
Don't hold up.
No, so go. There's no way they're going to make 3 plays in a row like that. There's no way.
So do you think, are you doing the dad honest assessment? Is this something that he could turn into something, or does he have a fascination with the sports management side of things, or because you have to you want to support, but you don't want to be a Pollyanna about what could be in the future for him, right?
He's good. I mean,
He's good.
He made the middle school team. He was the 6th guy off the bench, and he's getting taller. He's getting stronger. All of a sudden, he's working. It's funny. I was telling him, I go, you got to start working out.
Yeah.
You know, his testosterone, he just hit puberty. I go, this is the time to put muscle on. He wouldn't listen to me until we went on a cruise about 2 months ago. And there was a bunch of teenagers on there, and he was hanging out with them. And there was this one teenager that was like 16. He had his shirt off, and he was completely cut with muscles.
Yeah.
And all the girls were talking to him the whole time. As soon as he got back, Dad, I want to start working out.
Wow. Yeah, they don't want to listen to you, but if they see it happening, okay, so, maybe you just put the kids in the right environment when they can see.
Just book a cruise.
Somebody like a peer, it makes total
It's always
sense.
about the girls. It's whatever you could get to get the girls.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. And now he's pushing me every day. We got to go work out, Dad. I'm like, can we have a day off? Come on, we got to work out.
Well, it was being girls is the motivation, and obviously, at a certain point, did you ever consider breaking towards music? Because in the battle of getting the girls, everybody comes in second to the rockers, right?
Oh yeah, I mean the ugliest guy in the world, the bass player that plays in a cover band, that plays a little corner bar,
right,
can get a Hollywood actress because he plays bass. It's crazy. And then the comedian that plays in front of 10,000 people that makes everyone laugh, like, you made me laugh, but no, I'm not interested.
Yeah, right. That old adage that the reflexive comment is I'm into guys with a sense of humor, but it doesn't get you that far.
Yeah, they like it for a little while, and then they don't want you to talk anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jim, we got to wrap things up, but we do want to remind everybody the gig is tomorrow night. It is at the Keswick Theater, and Jim is going to be in town with Tom Cotter and Tammy Pescatelli.
Yeah.
No Apologies Comedy Tour. So you can get tickets at keswicktheater.com and make sure you get out and enjoy it.
And Nick told me earlier that our friend Pat House is going to be hosting the event.
Yeah, the host and MC, and great opener, Pat House.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Jim.
Gonna be great.
Have fun, man. We'll see you soon, all right?
Thank you, guys.
You got
Appreciate
it, bud.
it.
Take care. Jim Florentine. And like I said, tickets available at keswicktheater.com. All right, we will take a quick break and come back in a moment. We got some B-File stories and some other things we're going to get to. A reminder, Hershey Park tickets. We have the Hershey Park secret text trivia that's taking place, and all you have to do is text the word Hershey Park to 39333, and we will send you a trivia question. You got to figure out the answer to that trivia question. Just a tiny bit of work to be done, and then you got to be the right caller. Give us that answer to win the 4-pack of tickets. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
And I'm like, could you please go on stage? Please. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do. And he goes on stage and goes, well, I first have to let you light his cigarette. And he takes his time. First, I have to let everybody know that I didn't even know Chris and Tony were brothers. I thought it was a horrible coincidence. And then I see you do stand-up, and I said, the kid's going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Man,
That's
it's amazing. Yeah.
And you know what? We had a story the other day about a home coloring procedure that you can do for hair.
Yeah.
And we're going to try it out today. We're going to give this a shot. Should I reveal what
by all
it is?
means.
Apparently, you can color your hair with Nutella. You know, the dip, the chocolatey hazelnut dip.
I love it. It's one of my
stuff.
absolute favorite things to eat. And so you've always had an issue with...
I used to dye my beard because I have a gray beard and I have darker brown hair, little tufts of gray. But,
yes,
but
distinguished.
But anyhow, and so it's a stark contrast between the two. And I used to dye it, and then I found out that I'm allergic to the hair dye.
Yeah.
And I mean, like
Like
painful burns on my face. I should have shaved today. Damn it, I didn't do it. I have a little bit of.
Well, what do you?
No, that's
if
okay.
you
I feel
shave,
like you need it. I want it longer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
I'm the stylist in this, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Kathy is going to be a stylist. So we're going to try dyeing my beard with Nutella today.
So Kathy's going to nut all over your face.
She's going to nut on my face.
Well, there's this. It looks like in the video anyway, if this even works, is that there's some condensed milk. So yeah, I might
lick your face, dude.
Okay.
I might be licking your face.
You want to start with that? It'll look like you.
I know.
Kathy's nutting all
totally glazed me. Anyhow, so we're going to try this out today, and we'll see if it works or not. Ooh, Kathy is putting on rubber gloves.
Oh.
Ooh. What are we doing here?
I think we're getting a rectal search.
Call Dr. Mike.
Hello, sir. What are we going to do here today?
Oh, okay. We're doing
the
role
full
play.
treatment. Yeah.
Role play.
All right, you're a border guard.
I wanted to darken up my beard a little bit. You know, it's kind of salt and pepper, but I'm allergic to chemicals, so I need something a little more natural.
Oh, I know what we can do. I have Nutella and something that looks like man juice.
I love that stuff. Man juice and Nutella. Let's give it a try. All right, hang on.
And Kathy came with all the professional equipment, a garbage bag, which has a hole punctured in it that she's putting over Preston's head.
We don't want you to get dirty.
It's a nice little smock. It barely covers your shoulders.
So I'm going to have to leave my headphones off, right? Yeah, because you're going to get up here.
Yeah, come on, man. What are you, a professional? What?
Do you have a brush?
So we're just going to have you tilt your head back a little bit.
Ooh.
All right, now lean in a little more to the microphone,
guys like
Kathy.
that?
You're going to have to rub your breasts on Preston's face.
No, it's as far as.
All right, so we have a mixture. Is it a mixture of Nutella and half and half?
Well, no. So it's Nutella, and then you just take the condensed milk and you kind of sprinkle it on his face afterwards. That's what the video does. So that's
This
what
is
I'm
like
gonna
a
do.
bad gay porn movie.
All right, I got in a little closer now.
This is really bad.
Can I get a scalp massage too while you're back there?
Listen, we don't do that here.
No, that's
shocking.
That's the hair equivalent of a handy.
Okay.
I thought you were going to be.
It's just a hand.
Using like a brush, like a.
I got a brush.
She's using a spoon.
We got to put it on.
All right, so she's now ladling the Nutella, which is thick, man.
Yeah, how do you not just want to
Oh my God!
eat it right
this
away?
looks like a sequel to Two Girls in a Cup.
Awesome.
All right, so she's spreading it on his beard. He's eating the Nutella. It's disgusting. Oh my God,
Casey.
All right, so the Nutella is being.
Preston, you got a little.
It looks like someone
teeth.
crapped on your chin.
Now listen.
Oh
in the
my
video,
God,
he does
Chuck
like,
Berry would be all over this.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does patches. So I'm going to do patches.
Save that to the hard drive.
And then I'm going to rub it in.
All right, so he's got dollops of what appear to be crap on his beard. It's Nutella, though. Are you putting that in his nose?
Oh my God.
Don't you want your mustache done?
It's
God, what a soothing
the size
voice.
Of a dog turd.
She's got a can of condensed milk. How are you going to pour that on his
That's what they
beard?
did in the video.
You got to pour it lightly because it's a full, wide open can.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What are you doing?
She's.
What are you doing?
What?
It's hot.
Dude.
Oh my God.
You're dying
Oh
alive.
my God. She poured like an
going down-
9 ounces.
down
It's
my
going
neck.
down his neck.
Mix it up and rub it in together.
That is a filthy mess.
Oh, okay, now she's rubbing it in. Okay.
This.
Because he had a giant
mix it
glob.
What do they call this? This swirl, this frothy swirl that occurs after backdoor stuff.
I don't know.
They don't call it
Is that felching? No, that's with the straw.
Schmegma.
No.
Oh my God, this looks
Ew,
disgusting.
the condensed milk is making the Nutella like
Yummy.
gross looking. And
No, this is not yummy. This is weird.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, it's coming in together nicely.
Get up on the sideburns there, Kathy.
okay.
Yeah, you can do sideburns.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, because it's right now, it really does look like someone took a full-blown dump on your face. It really does. But this is, okay, so when you're done nutting on his face, let us know when you need to. How long does it need to sit for?
That's the mystery. I don't know. Kathy?
Like 2 hours.
That's it.
Is this just a practical joke from the Nutella world?
Seriously, I think it might be because this condensed milk is really making the consistency of the Nutella disgusting.
Well, I always wanted a pearl necklace, and now I have one. I'm breaking out my camera. I'm going to put it in.
This is part of the one DJ in a dumpster.
No, you know who I look like? Yukon Cornelius, man.
Yes.
Nothing.
If this turns out to be an elaborate practical joke, it's a good one.
It is a good one.
Because we fell for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like there's a bad ending to this.
Right.
You look like this looks like the last scene in the most horrific gay porn ever made.
Yeah, I'm a mess.
It's called Taco Tuesday.
You've got.
Did I get some on my headphones?
You did.
Damn it.
I know. It's
I didn't. I tried. Oh, yeah.
no, Preston did it. It wasn't.
You're right.
You,
He's licking them off.
I'm just trying to see if
How long?
If there is a if it says how long. So let me just check here.
So this is a beauty hack. If this works, you might have something here, Preston. I would do it. I would not do it this way. So we're going to do a post Nutella reveal.
I'm wearing a Michael Jackson mask.
And by the way,
he brought me into the bathroom when I was wiping off the Nutella from my beard, which we were trying to use as hair dye in case you were just tuning in.
This looks all right. So if you didn't hear that, he's wearing a Michael Jackson mask currently because we're going to get a reveal on air. He had Nutella in his beard as a dyeing agent, and we're going to find out if it works. I will tell you what. You look better with that Michael Jackson mask than Michael Jackson ever looked.
It's white Michael Jackson, by the way.
Okay, so you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right,
So before we before we reveal, you took a peek. Any feelings before you reveal to us?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to let you guys take a look. I don't want to tip the hand.
All right. So we get a drum roll, case.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, Michael. Reveal.
And here we go.
So the exact same.
Not a damn thing.
Well, your skin is a little dyed on the cheeks.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
Literally
anything.
Nothing. It is a complete lie.
Damn it.
Jack Nicholson has been enjoying a much quieter life since his last significant acting role in 2010, which was How Do You Know?
Which he shot here.
That's correct. But now his longtime friend and Easy Rider co-star Peter Fonda says that the legendary actor is retired.
Like retired?
At the age of...
I beg your pardon?
He's retired at the age of 79. Fonda said, I think he is basically retired. I don't want to speak for him, but he has done a lot of work and he's done very well as a person financially.
What kind of project do you think would get him out of retirement and acting again? And I have something in mind. Monster Trucks 2.
Oh, really?
Wait a second. There's an actual monster in the... Oh, that's perfect.
No, I think Connery's up for that role, Steve.
Yeah, this thing just puked in the glove compartment. It's all right. It's just a monster. It's very benign and benevolent. Kind of reminds you of like a whale or something. But it's got tentacles. I don't know what the hell it is. It's a disgrace.
So it's a buddy movie.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Connery...
I can't even put my drink in the cup holder because the monster's tentacle is blocking it. Calm down, you old idiot.
But Connery, he retired a few years back as well. And I think it's just Jack's time to do the same thing. You know,
God,
they both have a huge body of work, and
you can't say Jack Nicholson hasn't lived.
So there is controversy in the offices of WMMR. I've heard. I've heard. Chuck's cereal bowl has gone missing.
The second one.
Again. Yes. Chuck's first cereal bowl went missing a few months ago. Now, the thing about this bowl, there was nothing special about it.
It wasn't handed down from grandparents.
Well, no. I mean, in its appearance. It was just a plastic, yellowish...
Faded yellow
bowl.
Well, you might even walk past it on a shelf.
But when I say nothing special in appearance, does not mean that it was not special to him. Because, Chuck, this was a cereal bowl from your childhood?
I didn't know we were doing this today.
Sorry, but
are you emotionally prepared for this?
The first one that went missing, I've probably been eating cereal out of that bowl since I was 6.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Why would you bring that to work, though?
Because I love that bowl.
All right.
And then I eat my cereal.
So you had the first bowl goes missing. How does that happen? Take us through that.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
How do you know? Where did you leave it? Where was it?
Probably in the kitchen.
It was probably on top of the microwave.
I probably do that once a week for the past 150 years.
You've done what once a week?
Left it in the kitchen, or I grab it the next day.
I've seen it on top of the microwave.
Yeah,
Chuck. son, it's not your fault.
It's not. I know it's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
I know. And I'm going to burn this place down.
I don't blame it, Kat. I totally do not subscribe to this, Kathy.
Do not leave it out there.
opinion.
If it's your things and you want to keep an eye on it, you don't want somebody to take it, don't leave it out in a community area.
Listen, I'm here at MMR where we're all family, you know? I mean, come on.
We're all family. Somebody's using it. Someone else is using it.
Kathy.
Someone else is using the family bowl.
Kathy.
Yeah.
I agree. You see a sweet bowl like that,
You want to get your hands
you're
on
gonna
it.
take it.
It's gotta be
I'm
mine.
gonna. I don't care who owns it.
All right.
I don't care if it's the CEO of Beasley. I'm grabbing a sweet bowl like that.
Well, here's
Well,
the deal.
somebody did, right?
Here's the deal. I don't think anybody took the bowl.
You don't.
Oh,
no.
Casey has a theory on this, by the way.
I think somebody
and it begins in Mesopotamia.
Well, and the word was, the way Casey set it up to me, he's like, I know what happened, and it's BS.
It is BS.
Well, and I think I know too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah, no, I know who it is. So here's the deal. Chuck, before, I thought somebody took your bowl. But today, I think your first bowl was thrown away. I think your second bowl was thrown away as well.
Because it was left.
Because it was left in the sink. Now, here's where I have the problem, right? Because I understand you're going to leave stuff in the common area. And for some reason, that irks people, right? And their irkitude supersedes your need to have this bowl, so they throw it away. So here's what happened on Monday, on Martin Luther King Day, when nobody was in the office except for us.
A day of service,
A day of service.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the office except for us, the morning show, and Bill Weston.
And one other person.
And one other person.
Oh,
Yep.
get out of here.
Bill Weston.
I'm
It's
with you,
Bill?
Casey. Yep.
Now,
Bill Weston, known as the man about town, the silver pony.
I'm with you
They've thrown you out of the band.
this summer. Hang on a second.
Hey, also tell them to update their Facebook page because they haven't posted in a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe they broke up and I don't even know it. Oh, man.
Are the members of Saints still around?
Yeah, they're still around. I guess they're not playing
Always
together.
hold that over them.
That was too much, man.
Was it too much?
Oh, God.
Because they were a little bit more serious.
Well, no, we were playing 3 sets, and it was going too late. That was the thing. I can't do it anymore, man. I got no place to go.
Where did I see you guys? Claire and I came that one night. It was
Was it in Saint or was it with the Preston
Saint.
Elliott Trio? Okay.
Yeah, it was not the Preston Elliott Trio.
The Preston Elliott Trio, they haven't posted on Instagram or Facebook in a year.
Okay.
There's something wrong.
Yeah, there's something going on here. I think there's some deep-seated, harboring of emotions and
Tonight on Behind the Music, the Preston Elliott Trio.
All right, I just texted him. We'll see if Andrew gets back to me. All right, we should do the bizarre file. Here we go. What the hell?
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
It's twice I've had the fader down.
It's Gremlins.
When it should be up. All right, this bizarre file is brought to you by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, and you can donate to Casey's team, the WMMR Rock and Rollers, for the Bend to the Shore Bike Tour, which is on July 21st, folks. That is this weekend.
It's amazing.
Benefiting Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. Visit PrestonandSteve.com for more information, or join Casey tonight at Pinocchio's Pizza from 6 to 9. There's an event going on. All right, so we'll start with this. 90 giant African snails were confiscated by U.S. Customs and Border Protection at the Detroit Metropolitan Airport late last month. The odd odor coming from a passenger's bag tipped off the agricultural specialist.
How big exactly are these snails?
I'll explain. So the passenger, who was arriving from the West African country of Ghana, was stopped for a secondary investigation after declaring fresh food items. Before opening the bag, the passenger declared other prohibited items, including beef skin and fresh papers.
Where's my travel beef skin?
Fresh peppers, I'm sorry. But made no mention of the giant snails. The African snails range in age in range from 3 to 6 inches long.
All right.
It's pretty damn big.
Yeah,
6-inch long snails.
Right, yeah.
That big. So they were subsequently seized, according to customs agents who believe the snails were intended to be eaten. The slimy gastropods can grow up to 8 inches and are considered as an invasive species that could negatively impact our economy. The snails eat at least 500 different types of plants and can even eat plaster and stucco off of houses as a source of calcium.
So we're looking at a picture of one that is completely filling up the palm of a I don't know what type of human that is, but a human hand.
Yeah, they can also pose serious health risks to humans as they are known to carry the parasite rat lungworm.
Rat lungworm.
Which can cause meningitis.
God damn, that sounds horrible. Rat lungworm.
That's why they can't let them into the country. Cyanide has been found in the blood of all 6 people who died in a luxury hotel suite in Bangkok. Based on the initial post-mortem examination, doctors say that there is no other cause that would explain their deaths except for cyanide. But further tests are being carried out to determine the intensity of the deadly chemical and to rule out any other toxins.
So I saw the story when it first broke. Did they determine whether this was some sort of, was it a ritual thing? Did someone kill them? What happened?
Yeah, so they believe, they don't know for sure, but investigators had earlier found traces of cyanide on the teacups used by the victims, all of whom are Vietnamese origin, including 2 with a dual U.S. citizenship. Police suspect that one of the dead was behind the poisoning and was driven by crushing debt, but they have not said who yet. The victim's lips and nails had turned dark purple, indicating a lack of oxygen, while their internal organs turned blood red, which is another sign of cyanide poisoning.
Jeez.
The deceased were found by housekeepers at the Grand Hyatt Erewhon Hotel in the Thai capital late on Tuesday. Investigators believe they have been dead between 12 and 24 hours by then. 2 of the 6 victims had loaned tens of millions of Thai baht, which is 10 million baht is worth about $280,000.
10 million baht?
So they had loaned that to another of the deceased for investment purposes. They've been scheduled to check out Monday, but failed to do so. So maybe somebody took their money, invested it poorly, lost it, and then just decided to not only kill themselves, but kill
everybody else,
the other person.
And they didn't get to eat.
Wow. A Florida man, desperate for his girlfriend and cops not to access his phone, jumped in the ocean to avoid giving up his passcode and fled arrest after being grilled by police while out on a boat.
Ha! I'm in the ocean now.
Body cam footage shows 2 female Florida Fish and Wildlife commission officers questioning a man who identified himself as AJ and his girlfriend on a boat somewhere in the waters near Key West. In the video, AJ argues with the officers and his girlfriend over the phone and proper identification and becomes increasingly agitated before finally jumping into the ocean. Questioning what would happen if he just swims away, he then led cops on a 7-minute pursuit back to the shore before getting arrested.
I'm tired.
The incident began when the 2 officers told the couple that they were searching the area for a different vessel in their jurisdiction, but it happened to AJ and his girlfriend on a boat with some code violations. They happened onto them. The cops quickly discovered that neither AJ nor his unidentified girlfriend have IDs on them, and the boat he's operating is breaking a number of codes. And this is where it gets interesting, and I'll quote them from the video.
Okay.
Proclaiming he did nothing wrong, he slowly becomes angered with the cops and asks them if they're, quote, just out here trying to catch people breaking laws on the water. And one of the officers goes, obviously, we're addressing violations because we're cops and that's what we do.
What are you guys, cops?
As AJ becomes more agitated with the officers, they ask him if he has a warrant out. And one of the officers said, usually when people start acting like that, it's because they've got a warrant. And one of the officers tells him and his girlfriend that, and the girlfriend repeatedly tells him to calm down, the guy, AJ.
Yes.
She says, you need to relax. You're freaking out. The video then cuts to the officers looking at a blurred out computer screen showing AJ had a warrant out. As tensions peak, AJ tells the officers that he will swim home. The girlfriend says, AJ, I swear to effing God, if you jump in that water, I will be gone tomorrow. She then asks her boyfriend to unlock his phone so that she can get his boss's phone number. And she says, what is the password to your phone? And AJ argues with the police.
No.
AJ then moves to the back corner of the boat, telling cops that he's not going to jail today. His girlfriend then gets in his face with his phone in her hand, again telling him to unlock it so she can help. Not ready to go to jail or give his girlfriend access to his device, AJ jumped into the ocean.
You dumb bastard.
The officers then tried getting him back into the boat to arrest him, but AJ insists that he's not resisting.
I'm not coming back.
All while his girlfriend continues to demand the phone's passcode. After a minute of arguing with the cops, the anxious boater begins swimming away. Before reaching land, the officers jump out of their boats and they slap the cuffs on him.
How far is Ireland?
They then escort him to the shoreline where another cop waits for him before the video ends. It is unclear
I'm
what
not a good swimmer.
what charges AJ faces after the strange ordeal or what warrant
It's
was
hilarious.
out for him. It's
hilarious.
Boyfriend, girlfriend arguing while he's trying to be arrested.
Give me the code.
One last story. This took place yesterday. A meteor struck Earth's atmosphere above New York City on Tuesday, exploding in a loud airburst. Actually, it was the day before yesterday, as it scorched across the sky above the Statue of Liberty. The meteor in question was spotted at around 11:15 in the morning as a bright daylight fireball in the sky.
Wow.
It was spotted throughout the tri-state area, with some reports coming from as far as Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. NASA's trajectory calculations, which the agency itself admits are very crude, put the meteor's first sighting above the Upper Bay, home of the Statue of Liberty, at an altitude. That explosion is from a meteorite. At an altitude of just shy of 79 kilometers. And from there, it headed north, streaking through the sky at a speed of over 54,700 kilometers per hour.
It's amazing.
To give you an idea, that's about 58 times as fast as a Boeing 737 goes. Ultimately, it made it to Midtown Manhattan, where it eventually fully disintegrated over 46 kilometers in the air.
That is pretty wild, a little disconcerting, too.
Well, they said it may have been the size of like a toaster.
Yeah,
but still can cause a
yeah.
big boom because of its velocity. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right, we are taking another break. Nick,
Yes,
I need
sir.
you to give me a number caller for the Hershey Park Secret Text Trivia.
14.
All right, call it 14 at 215-263. WMMR. And may I say, you're a way better number picker than Kathy.
I know.
I hate to say that, but it is true.
She only has one number in her arsenal.
And seven, right? Yeah. All right, let's see if you know the answer to the trivia question. We'll come back in just a moment. Lesson, question, trash, and music news are on the way, too.
Quick with a comment and a quip, always a smile on his face, cigar smoker, a family man. But
And
there's a deep secret.
Despiser of clutter.
Well, and here's the thing: I've had conversations with him specifically about the kitchen, the sink, and the items that are left in the sink.
Wow, I'd love to hang out for your conversation.
That's why I was going to say I think it's Bill. I think Bill takes whatever's left in the sink, if it's left there for more than one day, and he throws it out.
So
that ain't cool.
Here is the BS part of it, okay?
All right.
On Monday morning, Bill was in a Bill mood and decided that he did not like the clutter that was left in the sink, Steve.
A Bill mood is easily identifiable. He's usually singing Katrina and the Waves.
Right. Let me see if I have that, by the way.
He's walking on sunshine.
Whoa!
I don't have it.
And whose bowl is this?
Yeah, it stops right there.
God damn this!
He's whistling his little tune in.
Here I am walking on sunshine, and I see this clutter. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around Bill.
All right, well, here's
throwing away what is...
Because if it's left there and it's dirty, we're not going to go in there and clean it.
No, it wasn't dirty.
It wasn't in the sink. It wasn't dirty in the sink.
And Chuck...
Okay, because that's usually what...
Don't just put dirty dishes in the sink.
But that's usually what Bill has a problem with, are the things that are left in the sink.
Now, if I had left it on the counter or on the microwave, somebody may have put it back in the sink, and water got in it, made it look dirty. But I don't just put my dirty dishes in the sink.
Here is the BS nature of what happened on Monday. So Bill was in his Bill Weston mood. He was walking on sunshine. He's not walking on sunshine anymore because there are 3 dishes in the sink.
3 dishes in the sink.
What I discovered is actually one of those dishes was mine. I didn't realize that there was a measuring cup left in the sink after the crock pot cook-off.
Well, Mr. Foster, you said there were 3 dishes in the sink, and now all of a sudden there's a measuring cup.
Yeah.
Which
one is it?
But hold on. I just want to point out, it was the Wednesday prior. This is now Monday.
It's now Monday.
So Bill has probably been looking in that sink, and it's been annoying him.
Right. And so I didn't realize my measuring cup was in there because I didn't actually wash the dishes after crock-pot cook-off. So I didn't. So I grabbed my measuring cup, and now there are 2 dishes left in the sink. It is a plate and a bowl.
Okay.
Was it your bowl?
Here is the BS nature of it. Bill Weston then
Walking on sunshine.
He was walking on sunshine, not anymore, Steve.
He did not feel good.
No. Bill Weston leaves a sign, hangs up a sign after he got done walking on sunshine.
We need like a record scratch.
He puts up a sign, an ultimatum. Take these dishes out of the sink.
Death to America.
By 10 a.m. or I'm going to throw them away.
Whoa.
Now,
Well, you actually saw the sign.
Oh, yeah.
On
You actually
Monday
saw the
when no
sign.
one was here?
When nobody was here!
You can't do
All
that.
right.
You
so that
can't
means
do that!
But here's the thing,
Please,
that means he thinks it's us.
Please. This changes everything.
Yes.
This is like a Toyota-thon.
How is it like Toyota?
It changes everything.
Changes everything.
All right.
There you have.
Yes.
You have intent. You have a declaration that would mimic the act stated earlier.
Yes.
I rescind my earlier comment, and now I am fully on board with this theory.
We now have motive.
We now have motive. We have opportunity.
Yes.
We have silver hair. And
I submit the silver hair fibers that were found.
Silver, yes, look at this.
Yes.
Silver hair.
Well, not that she's biased, but Emma Watson, who was offered the lead role in the live-action adaptation of Cinderella, but turned it down, says that she was happy to take on the role of Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She tells Total Film there's this kind of outsider quality that Belle had, and the fact that she had this really empowering defiance of what was expected of her.
She was also offered the role of Xander Cage, and then Vin Diesel came back.
In a strange way, she challenges the status quo of the place that she lives in, and I found that really inspiring. She manages to keep her integrity and have a completely independent point of view.
Who's playing the Angela Lansbury character? The pitcher or whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know who's voicing
That's sort of a critical character, is it not?
Yeah.
She was the clock or the...
There's Luminaire.
I thought it was a pitcher.
She's a pitcher, okay.
Yeah, she's a catcher.
Emma Thompson.
That's a good choice, yeah.
Most stuff.
And who's playing...
Lumiere?
Yeah.
Is Ewan McGregor.
Nice.
Luke Evans, I don't know him. He's Gaston. Stanley Tucci is Cadenza. Josh Gad is in it. I mean,
who's playing the gravy boat?
Ian McKellen plays Cogsworth. Kevin Kline plays Maurice.
I'm only too happy to hold your gravy, and I promise to keep it warm before you place it upon your mashed potatoes.
He takes it very seriously.
I am the vessel by which you will pour your gravy upon your various meatloafs and mashed potatoes. And I do not take this task lightly.
Okay.
Well, he's a professional, man. He's not going to take a role that's cheesy. You know, I understand
If it
it.
is 1 degree colder, I have failed as a gravy boat, and I shall hurl myself off of the bureau.
Should I see the animated movie before I see that?
I don't know. Maybe that's not the way to go because apparently they're saying is pretty close to a live action rendering of the animated movie. It's so weird because this stuff now starts to cave in on itself, you know?
Yeah, the story has existed for a long time before the animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see live action Cinderella?
I did. I enjoyed it.
No, I didn't.
Did you see animated Cinderella?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's right. It's all the same story over and over again, so it doesn't really matter if you've seen it or not.
Are they working on a live action Pinocchio now?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah, with Vin Diesel.
Oh, wow. Tale as old as time. I do know the song.
Beauty and
the Beast, and not one drop of gravy spilled.
Will you let it go?
He can't. He can't.
You know who's directing live action Pinocchio?
No.
Guillermo del Toro.
No way.
Ah.
Wow, well, that might be interesting then.
He is a visionary. He's a visionary.
Bitch. Wow. Is the name of that song. Makes me think of Freddy Krueger.
I drive a Range Rover, bitch. Get in the Range Rover, bitch. Did you bring a water bottle? It's a long drive, bitch.
9:32.
Where's the Easy Pass, bitch?
Friday morning with the Preston.
What do you call a female dog, bitch?
I actually like that.
Thank you.
Let's get a look at traffic. What's going on, Kathy? Bitch.
Give me some traffic, bitch.
Do you think like Springfield Mall has numbered days eventually? Like these because it's similar in size and everything.
Well, Springfield Mall did the right thing and they put a Target as one of their anchor stores. So that brings in a lot of traffic. It's always packed now.
Sears and Boscov's have kind of.
What are the plans for those? Are they going to remain in the area? Because I know they're putting in apartments. Are they not in condos?
You know what? I don't know.
It's going to be a town center, and there's going to be residences there as well.
I don't know. Are they going to keep those stores, though?
Oh, those stores? I think so. That's why they're not down.
Although Sears is closing a lot of their stores.
But they've got great plans for the area, bitch. Freddy Krueger, town planner. There's going to be a lovely promenade right over here, bitch. And bicycle racks for everyone, bitch.
Town planner.
Yeah. Just a place, community center, bitch. A place where other bitches can hang out and say hi to other bitches. Bitch. Lovely day in the park. Bands can play in the gazebo, bitch.
What about things for the kids?
Things for the kids, face painting, all that stuff, bitch.
It's become cordial.
He's pointing with his razor gloves to all the areas around.
Kind of a pond, or like a large koi pond, or something for the ducks, bitch. All green, though, bitch.
All green.
Environmentally friendly?
Yeah.
I would love to see Freddy Krueger as a realtor.
Great schools in the area, bitch. And here's a nice cupboard for, your little knickknacks, bitch. And this is electric heat, bitch, so I just want to let you know, bitch.
Oh, wow. All right. Freddy Krueger, real estate manager.
Bitch. His bus stop bench sign says, "Call me, bitch." He's
his face.
Tom Skivington of the underworld.
Right.
Of the other realm. But with the mustache.
And the claws. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my back hurts.
I love it. All right.
He's slashing prices.
Yeah, somebody texts in, is he slashing prices, bitch? Brent Selleck, 31 years old today. And then it's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Preston. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Kathy. I like Nick's version. He's eating a hamburger or something.
He's actually eating loose leaf paper. He's like a goat.
What? You chose to eat instead of sing happy birthday?
I took that opportunity, yeah.
That's why
I was
sometimes
along.
we have to put something heavy over the garbage can.
I'm like a bear.
Are you at all into wine?
Nah. I will. If I go out to dinner and we're drinking, I'll do cocktails beforehand.
And a little blow.
And a little cocaine. No, I'll do cocktails beforehand, but when the meal comes, there are times where I'll get a glass of wine.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, I think it pairs better with...
So will you pair, do you like a red, or do you just pair with whatever you're eating?
Whatever
kind of mood you're in tonight.
Yeah, exactly. A little red, a little white. I'll stick with the standard, red meat, red wine,
okay.
Poultry and fish, maybe a white wine. But it's okay to mix it up from what I understand. That rule is not hard and fast any longer. But I will have something. I think it's easier to eat with a meal as opposed to, a Jack and Coke or something like that.
Or a wine and Coke.
But I'm not a...
Which is disgusting.
Well, have you ever tried it?
Yes, I have.
Did you put Pepsi in my wine?
Of course I have.
A wine and Coke?
Was this in the early days?
Yeah. It was When you put anything in Coke.
Yeah. Gin and root beer. Yeah. It's like, whatever. What can we mix with this?
Cranberry juice and rum. We called it crumb. That's not good.
All right.
But like a white wine spritzer, that's,
Oh, I've been doing that lately.
Have you?
Yeah, you know what? I just...
Have you really?
Yes, I've been doing white wine spritzers in the evening. It just helps with the hangover when you have to get up at 4 a.m.
And I've been making bracelets with my name on it.
So anyway, but I do drink wine, but I'm in no way, shape, or form do I have any room to speak on it.
My wife is definitely she's into wine, and is this volcanic thing actually piqued her interest.
Okay.
Casey, though, with the white wine spritzers, seriously, I won't take, it has to be a certain grade wine. Like, I'm not going to take something that's, mid to higher level and add, a spritz, spritz it up.
Yeah. If it's called piss wine from the Piss Valley,
I'll spritz that.
Yeah.
So you do like a Ernest and Julio Gallo or whatever.
Right.
I'll have a glass of piss from the Piss Valley, please. It's not going to taste good.
This is a 78.
But tasting a white wine from Santorini, Greece, Zabo described the wine as...
I am Zabo.
As salty, saline, and crunchy.
Everybody, Zabo's here.
Art of the Brick at the Franklin Institute. And you don't want to miss out on the event. So this will be your chance to win. The question we're going to go with this morning is... Listener Grace is a 19-year-old groundskeeper at a golf course. What term of endearment did she use to describe her much older coworkers? 215-263 WMMR. Listener Grace, you're talking about people who work in an environment with much older or younger workers. She's 19 years old, groundskeeper at a golf course. What term of endearment did she use to describe her much older coworkers? 215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know the answer. Now, while we're doing that, I apologize. I'd like to apologize because we were supposed to get our Hershey Park winner first. I had solicited for
I'd like to apologize.
caller number 14, and
apologize.
that is Marlena. Hi, Marlena. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Marlena, what is the answer? Hold on a second.
I got to get you winning music. That's all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What is the answer to our question, which I'm not going to reveal until you answer it correctly? What is it?
97
97
degrees.
degrees. There you go. That's true, yes, because it is in the question as well. The question was, what degree is the drop from the Fahrenheit coaster at Hershey Park? It is 97 degrees, and she is correct. Marlena, we got you some tickets. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you so much.
You got it. 4-pack of Hershey Park tickets. Hang on the line. We'll get your information. Don't forget that you can get, for Hershey Park, you can get a limited time purchase of 2 tickets and get 1 free through HersheyPark.com. And that is going to end on July 25th. So just a heads up on that. All right. Now we can do the trash while we await your call for the answer to the lesson question.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by Rita's. Head out to Rita's. Try the new Nerds Grape Ice. You can try it in a gelati topped with new Rainbow Baby Nerds or mixed into a gelati blender drink. Be cool. Eat at Rita's. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, Britney Spears seems to suggest that she misses her ex-husband, Sam Ashghari, in a recent social media post. Britney acknowledges the two had issues, but did say he was a big fan of her crazy spastic knife dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Ow. As reported, Eddie Murphy finally married his longtime partner, Paige Butcher, after an engagement that was made in 2018. But now, Eddie's explaining the delay, saying he decided to wait 6 years because that's all she would tolerate.
Oh, my God.
And finally, with Blue Bloods in its 14th and final season, now talk of a spin-off series. CBS President David Staff says the new series would involve police that investigate sex crimes and would be called Blue Balls.
All right, we're looking for the answer to this question. Listener Grace, 19-year-old groundskeeper at a golf course. What term of endearment did she use to describe her much older co-workers? And we have Karen on the line who wants to answer that. Hi, Karen, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Awesome, Karen. All right, so what did Grace call her much older coworkers?
Old bastards.
Old bastards, yes. That's correct. Hang on, Karen, because we are going to give you a 4-pack of tickets for the Art of the Brick at the Franklin Institute. Don't miss your last chance to see the Art of the Brick at the Franklin Institute. This is the world's largest display of Lego art featuring over 100 original works by artist Nathan Sawaya, and tickets are available at fi.edu.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by the Art of the Brick and the Franklin Institute, world's largest display of Lego art, now open after the exhibit. You can explore the 9,000 square foot brick play space. Get your tickets today for the Art of the Brick at fi.edu. Okay, so I have music. I have music news for you. What's that?
News?
News. I have news. So you'd asked me, Steve, what was happening with the Preston Elliott Trio, also known as, the real name is 5 Times Famous, a little group that I play with. It is breaking news. So I texted Andrew Foster, who is in the band, and I was like, hey, we're going to get together and jam this summer, because he was asking about that. And he said, hey, I have a bunch of people texting me that you were talking about this morning. He says, I'm in Budapest. Melinda, my wife, just gave birth to our new princess, Wednesday Bobby Foster.
Oh.
Yes. So she is from Budapest.
Okay.
And that's why they're. And he said, best day of my life. We'll be back with our girl in October, and give our girl a shout out on the air if you can.
So what about dates?
Yeah, what about the dates? Come on. But how about that? They named their daughter Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is cool. And Budapest is lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Rochelle's been there. She loves it. So congratulations, Andrew and Melinda, for the new Wednesday Bobby.
Black Widow and Hawkeye both say Budapest.
Yes, that's how you'd say it.
Okay.
Yeah, Budapest.
Yes. And it's actually Buda and Pest. They're two separate parts of
So congratulations, guys. That's really, really cool. But it looks like I'm not gigging down the shore this summer, guys.
What's Saint doing?
No, that's over. All right. So,
man, oh man.
Other things to get to. Steel Panther have announced a 15th anniversary expanded reissue of their 2009 debut, Feel the Steel, as well as a new fall 2024 U.S. tour celebrating the album. They actually announced this a couple days ago, and I didn't get to it, so I wanted to make sure I mention it now. The Feel the Steel 15th anniversary tour follows the band's previously announced On the Prowl summer tour, and they will be playing the Keswick Theater on November 24th. There is a pre-sale happening now, but general ticket sales go start tomorrow at 10 a.m.
So let me ask you, do you think how I see them just doing this in perpetuity? I don't think there's, because they are a parody of a type of band, but they're also an incredibly accomplished set of musicians. I think they can just keep going.
Oh, yeah.
I
dude,
don't think the joke gets old.
They've turned this fun thing into, they've been doing this for they've been doing it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's still bringing people in. So why not?
I love it.
So billed as a celebration of the self-proclaimed greatest heavy metal album of all time, the 15th anniversary edition of Feel the Steel is set to drop on November 15th. In addition to the original 11-song track list, the expanded edition includes 2 previously Japan-only bonus tracks, one called You Don't Make Me Feel Dumb, and another one I can't say.
Approximate it?
The title is I Want Your Boobs.
Okay.
But a different word for boobs.
That's the title?
That's the title of the song. God, I love those guys. You can pre-order the 15th anniversary edition of Feel the Steel on CD, vinyl, and cassette via Steel Panther's website, by the way. And one more quick story. I mentioned this earlier when we had Jim Florentine on. Gwar is featured in the return of AV Undercover. And for the event, they decided to do something special. The band did their own cover of I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie. And it's exactly as incredible as it sounds. Vocalist Blother the Berserker said,
Blother?
We've been fans of Ryan Gosling since the Mickey Mouse Club days. And like most terrifying intergalactic heavy metal superstars, we simply adore musical theater. This just made sense. So there is a video that you can see if you do a quick search for it. And
there's a documentary called, I believe it's called We Are Gwar.
Okay.
Yeah, which if you want to understand what Gwar is about, that documentary does as good a job as you're going to get.
So Nick's got video of it right now. Their costumes are just the best.
They're insane.
But the song is called We're Just Gwar.
Yeah.
So that's what they turned it into.
I mean, this is why they're immediately accessible at like horror cons and conventions because it's very theatrical.
Steve, were you with me when they played at BAM's old club? Because that's the only time I've ever seen them.
The
one in Westchester.
I saw them in Bam's backyard.
Did you really?
It was amazing.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they played a party there, right?
Yeah, for Viva La Bam, I believe it was.
I mean, we're looking at the video. The costumes are just tremendous.
Yep, it's the best. And the lead singer's holding a Barbie head, like a decapitated Barbie head by the hair. All right, and that's actually all I have in music news for you this morning. That means we have one more break to take. We'll come back in a second, get the letter of the day. Jackie Bam Bam in again for Pierre today. And then don't forget, Pierre broadcast live from the Cape May County Zoo.
That's right.
The winner of our Jersey Shore 64 event. So we'll take a break and come back in a second. Stay with us.
I am double.
Crunchy wine.
Crunchy.
Do they can they grow grapes hydroponically?
Sure.
And would that make a?
They could do anything.
Yeah, right.
They made RoboCop.
Yeah.
The movie.
They did. He's not wrong.
No, technically he's not wrong.
No. They can do anything.
He also tasted red wine from Canary Islands in Spain and another from Italy, which he described as being wonderfully perfumed, savory, potpourri, floral, and substantial.
Did he mention RoboCop?
No. Not
Zalbo, what about RoboCop? What are you talking about? What?
I know you guys think I'm crazy sometimes with my taste palette, but like there are, if I look at a menu, a wine menu, I will know, like I don't typically like, and it's a wide range, but like any wines from California. Like I don't think I've, yeah, and it can be anything. It doesn't have to be one specific wine.
You
but
don't like them?
typically, like anything that I've tasted, if it's from California, and I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the soil that the grapes
you
grow in.
said you're not fond of Mexicans.
Stop it. I never said that.
Oh, dear
I'm
God.
part Mexican.
Oh, okay. Well, then why would you say that? That's crazy. No. There's some people
you might have a palate for it.
That could absolutely be it.
But I'm just wondering, maybe it does have something to do with where it's, where the grapes are grown.
Yeah. I don't. There's a documentary a friend of mine recommended. I haven't seen it yet. It's about sommeliers, like master wine tasters. And and I haven't seen it yet, but he said
It's about Somalians?
No, in the scene
Pay attention.
In a scene, some friends are talking to the guy. He's like, "Come on, do the thing, come on." And he's like, "I don't want to blah 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 this and that." So he ends up giving in, and they pour him a bottle of wine. He does not know where it comes from, anything like that. He is able to sample it. It has such a refined palate that he can not only tell you the type, he can narrow it down to the exact vineyard that it came from.
Gosh, what?
It's some people have these incredibly sharp palates.
They're basically the Michael Jordan of the wine world. I mean, it's this rare genetic ability to do something that you can be trained as a sommelier and make it to a level where you can work in a nice restaurant and know a lot about wine. But unless you have this innate ability, you're never going to be like this guy.
It's like people with perfect pitch.
Exactly.
And there are people that can smell things as well and know exactly the origin of it, what it is.
RoboCop has a gun in his mouth.
Well, to reference a movie.
Move along. Drink your wine and move along.
There's a scene in one of the Hannibal Lecter films that he leaves a scent of a hand cream on a letter, and they bring in all these perfume people, and they're able to smell and find out exactly where it came from. And there are legitimately people that can do that. Same thing with wine.
People who work in the perfume industry are paid many millions of dollars because of that ability.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an expert, but I drink Sauvignon Blanc and from New Zealand. There are different wines from New Zealand that I really really love. But to some people, that's going to taste very similar. It's going to taste the same. So we did a taste test, and it was 4 different Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand, and I picked out each one and which was which.
Okay.
Wow,
you're like the RoboCop.
Well, no, but it was like
you're like the RoboCop in New Zealand.
I'm from New Zealand. Lead me to your wine.
No, you have a great nose and a really refined palate.
And awesome boobs.
And a pointy nose.
I would not say a great nose, man. I can't take scents. Like it gives me a headache.
Your nose has abilities.
Yes, it does.
Is Somm the name of that documentary?
This is the one that I know about, unless there's another one. Maybe there was one that you saw that I didn't, but I've heard of this one before. SOMM.
Well, there is a documentary on Netflix that was, we put it up on PrestonSteve.com, like documentaries that you have to see. And it is about, I don't know if it's about sommeliers or wine, but it is about wine.
So it was my birthday yesterday, and I have like 6 great bottles of bourbon at home.
You got?
Yeah, some of them I got, some of them I bought, and they're of the upper level of bourbon. So, yeah. So I was sampling a few, and the best way to get a feel for them is to taste them side by side, because then you can really taste the differences between them.
No palate cleansers or anything?
No. Okay. Ice. Call that a palate cleanser? And don't give me crap because I put ice in my bourbon. But anyway, I wish I could articulate what I'm tasting. I'm like, yes, this tastes different than that, but I can't go. It has hints of caramel and an aroma of star anise, or I don't know.
Don't use words, just use sounds and grunts.
Yeah, like RoboCop. What about Bob Clip? All right, let's see if we can get the answer to this question. The poinsettia plant is indigenous to what country? 215-263-WMMR. I'm going to go to Mark for the answer. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good morning. If I win, will this be enough to spray Kathy's bush?
Yes.
Yes.
It very well might be.
Yeah,
Please,
that's
Mark,
fine.
give us the right answer.
Is it Mexico?
Mexico.
You can spray her poinsettia.
You are correct, Mark.
On your fact sheet, does it say where the name came from?
No.
It derives its common English name from Joel Roberts Poinsett, who was the first United States minister to Mexico, and he introduced the plant to the United States in 1825.
There you go.
How about that?
And I was just curious how it became associated with Christmas and why. Maybe just because it's red and Santa Claus, and I don't know.
It was Jesus' favorite plant.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had no idea. He visited Mexico.
He did a little travel in his earlier years when he was still in college.
Okay.
Hey, is it true though about that it is not healthy for cats?
Yes, that's
what I've heard.
That it's not healthy for cats. Now, they supposedly created a hybrid version of the poinsettia. So if you want to take a crack at it and see if your cat will survive, go for it.
Wait a minute. In the United States and perhaps elsewhere, there is a common misconception that the poinsettia is highly toxic. The misconception was spread by a 1919 urban legend of a 2-year-old child dying after consuming a poinsettia leaf.
That's a human child. What about cats?
Let's see. Toxicity is relatively mild. Its latex can cause an allergic reaction in sensitive individuals.
So for 15 years, I didn't have a poinsettia in my house. Really, I could have.
You know what? I don't know. It doesn't mention anything about animals.
Oh, it says there, sea cat's deadly scourge of the feline world.
May sometimes cause diarrhea and vomiting. So
Nothing about kitties.
Nothing about kitties in the in this particular post.
Why don't you Nick, just type in the Google search bar "pussy" and see what comes up. It's probably some sort of
toxic
pussy.
All right,
see what we get.
All right,
only $19.95 a minute.
I will move along. Get back to me if you find anything, Nick. Paula Patton. Oh,
yes.
dude.
What? I'm doing what Steve said.
Take it off of images.
May I
All right?
just
So he typed in toxic pussy, but he had it on images.
No, you don't want to see that.
It's standard stuff.
Go to videos. Maybe there's cats on that.
Now we know it's bad for your cat.
Go to videos.
Put up the videos.
What about
Oh, Toxic Pussy is a band.
Oh, that's a good band name.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Okay.
What's your next story?
Dan Rather announced a new social media page in the midst of January's flying fake news and alternative facts.
It's called Shart.com. Shart.com.
Okay.
Now join me over on Snapchat where I show you a sexy new way to work out.
I love your Dan Rather. He said, I got into news in the first place to be a part of something noble and bigger than myself. For those reasons, I am starting a second Facebook page called News and Guts, a digital news feed of sorts. He said the goal is to inform, innovate, and inspire. He said this Facebook page will be under the stewardship of a very talented group of reporters who work at my company. These are men and women who know real news.
Check it out at toxicpussy.com. It was the only domain name available.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Shart.com is taken.
Ah, son of a bitch.
I know. They make T-shirts.
It actually should have been ours, right?
Yeah.
They've reported.
We always have great ideas years after other people have had them.
He said they've reported with me.
Again, that's toxicpussy.com.
About cats.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And they're the reaction to poinsettias.
Yeah,
which can be toxic and lethal. Hence, toxic pussy.
I don't know why I didn't bring this up earlier when I was talking about accidentally drinking last night.
Yeah.
But the tourism, and you guys know I'm a bourbon and whiskey fan. The tourism is way up in Kentucky.
Because of this?
The Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Wow. What is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail?
Well, they've got loads of distilleries. So it used to be, and it isn't as much anymore, when...
I assume it's not a straight line.
No, to call a spirit bourbon...
Yes.
part of the requirement is it had to be distilled in Kentucky.
All right.
There's another requirement. It has to be 51% corn, I believe. Letter in just a moment or two for the word of the week. And I would like to take this moment, though, to thank our guests on the program today, Brandon Perea.
Yeah, energetic guy.
From the movie Twisters, and it is in theaters tomorrow. And surprisingly, because I was kind of bashing on it the other day, because I thought the first movie was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
A lot cheesy, actually. And so this one I'm seeing in the same... the same lens, but apparently it's a crowd favorite over at Rotten Tomatoes. It's certified fresh.
That's what they're saying.
Like 80% or something like that.
Popcorn movie.
All right.
Again, you're not going to go. You're not going to see something profound. You're going to have a good popcorn flick.
Yep. So thank you to Brandon for being on the show. And then our buddy Jim Florentine and his No Apologies comedy tour is coming to town. So we chatted with Jim for a little bit. Tammy Pescatelli and Tom Cotter as well at the Keswick Theater. So tomorrow, 8 o'clock is when that
Sort of
show
a
is.
comedic twister, basically.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot
on
like
the
that.
Fujita scale, it's a 5.
Yeah. Is Jackie here?
You know, he was crawling in traffic. I'm prepared to give you a letter.
Let us do that then.
Okay.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by The Letter.
Oh, as in Orangina.
All right. Orangina. And we have a 4-pack of tickets that we'll give away tomorrow for the Ellen DeGeneres Ellen's Last Stand-Up. The show is Wednesday, July 31st at the Academy of Music. I'll explain in a second. Tickets are on sale now at ensembleartsphilly.org. Sometimes when Jackie gives a letter of the day and he says the word that is associated with that letter, he will get very excited and he'll open his mouth and he will shake his index finger and bob his head up and down. See what I did?
You see that? 3 syllables.
So we were all doing that after Casey gave the letter here in the studio. Let me see. Nothing left to do other than to thank our sponsors and tell you what's coming up tomorrow. So we'll do that. Thank you so much to Dunkin', the Preston and Steve Show, brought to you by Dunkin', and we run on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and by Manhattan Bagel. Try the new French toast egg sandwich at Manhattan Bagel today. Tomorrow on our program, as I said, the aforementioned No Sad Bro vibe. But we're also going to have a very special guest. This is really cool. We have the saxophonist of the Dave Matthews Band.
It's pretty cool.
His name is Jeff Coffin. He's been with the band for, 15 years now or something?
15, 16 years, yeah.
So he has solo music as well, but he's in town for 2 shows with Dave.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow night.
2 big shows.
Nick's going to both of those at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. So we'll get to spend time with a really awesome musician tomorrow. And we'll do all our Friday things, connoisseur and whatnot. That's it. We are done. Rage on. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.